won't get out the room. Sitting here telling me sweet nothings. I got a show to do, and we're going to do it for the next 4 hours. Allen Stiles, the Allen Stiles Show. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass. And we have plenty to talk about. Some of it got covered on Dave's show, just as far as some questions that we wanted answered, right? The priorities with the Sacramento Kings. Answering those questions. What happens if they don't get Kuminga? What happens to the Westbrook conversation? Where are we at with Keegan's extension? The priority conversation, we're starting to learn a little bit more. So we will discuss all of that, of course. Domantas Sabonis and the kind of Looney Tune money, the monopoly money that we've been talking about as De'Aaron Fox gets paid. But how does this connect to Domantas Sabonis? If you were listening to Crosstalk yesterday to close out the show with Whitey Gleason, we were discussing how this could change the competitive outlook, right? And the idea of these guys wanting to win championships and the difference between now and in the early 2000s and in the 90s, just with this amount of money and the amounts of money being thrown around, how much will they care? I'll tell you why that might be a good thing for the Sacramento Kings in about 5 minutes here, okay? I also want to discuss whether or not the Giants are cursed. So yesterday I had an Excel worksheet out trying to figure out, I'm half kidding, trying to figure out who is the best position player that the Giants either drafted or just if they traded for him early enough that they worked their way up the ranks to the big leagues for the Giants. Who's the best position player? Not pitcher, the best position player since 2014, since they won that last World Series. And it's tough sledding, man. I'm starting to think the Giants might be cursed. I don't know if it's the curse of Hunter Pence. I don't know if it's the curse of Adam Duvall, who went on to have 12-year career, won a World Series, also an All-Star. But are the Giants cursed as they try out multiple different outfielders in right field? Now it's Encarnacion's turn. Grant McCrae, thank you for your 3 games. Now let's keep it going. Are the Giants cursed? So we'll have some fun with that. As we talk about the Giants, of course, we will not forget about the A's. Eric Martins joins us, as he always does, at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. So we will talk to Coach about Nick Kurtz and his ability to just continue improving. And obviously the Mason Miller trade, all of that stuff. Nick Kurtz, by the way, won AL Player of the Month for the month of July. Remember, he had that insane day that we've never seen before where he went 6 for 6 with 4 home runs, nearly had 5 home runs. We are not, this is what I'll tell you what we're not going to do today. We are not going to have any revisionist history on De'Aaron Fox. And what do I mean by that? I mean that I need everybody to just be very honest with yourself. Now, it's a lot different, and I've called people out before, and I've been called out, and hey, we can have conversations on the phone, and it's all good. It's all sports talk. This is to kind of give you an escape from your reality while you're driving around, doing deliveries, while you're in your house, maybe working from home. If you're listening on the YouTube, if you're listening on the radio, if you're listening on the TuneIn app, if you're listening on the Sacktown Sports app, any of those platforms, maybe multiple, depending on what you're doing. So we can always have fun and have a good discussion. But I need somebody, because on Twitter and on social media, I'm seeing a lot of we should have kept De'Aaron this, we should have kept De'Aaron that. And all of a sudden, everybody that had some stuff to say about De'Aaron Fox and how he hadn't won one playoff series in 8 years. They only went to the playoffs once in 8 years. Now all of a sudden, how could we move on from De'Aaron? I just want somebody to call in, text in, and just be honest about the situation. Be honest that you did not think De'Aaron Fox was good enough. Because I'm not saying that's all of you, right? Some of you did think De'Aaron Fox was good enough. Some of you did believe in De'Aaron Fox. But I sat here, I'm not going to forget this, man. I got what's left of a photographic memory still. I sat here and we took calls and we took texts and we would sit there and basically rip on De'Aaron Fox based on what we saw and what we wanted to see. There was no pushback. We made a list, right? We've talked about certain players that you can be harder on than others. I could sit here and say anything I wanted about De'Aaron Fox, and maybe we get a text or call. I sit here and say the same thing about Keon Ellis, about Malik Monk, about Domantas Sabonis, and it's a problem. We all held De'Aaron Fox to a certain standard. And he's getting paid essentially number one money for now. The cap is going to continue to go up, and we understand how that works. He's going to get a nice chunk of that cap, a nice percentage of that cap. But De'Aaron Fox is not a number one. We learned that the hard way. And De'Aaron, hey, yes, he needed more help. That's cool. But at the same time, he also didn't want to be a number one. And that's always been my opinion on it. So there was really no way that I saw that it was going to work in Sacramento unless they were just incredibly diligent and dang near perfect on every other position, right? I don't think that going and getting, they had a deal for John Collins. I don't think John Collins would have fixed this thing. I don't think Cam Johnson would have fixed this thing. I think they would have been better. I think they would have been more competitive, but probably we're going to end up in the same spot. And we don't know that for a fact, but I don't think Cam Johnson was turning them into a serious contender, and I do not think that John Collins was turning him to a serious contender. Because ultimately, De'Aaron Fox is not a number one, and Domantas Sabonis is not really a number one. So that inherently has always been the Kings' problem, right? We've joked about, or not even joked, we've talked about the Magic. When the Magic made their decision, all right, Aaron Gordon, hey, you're good at slam dunk contests, even though you got screwed over twice, but it's not working. We had a good run. We're going to say uncle. The problem is not moving on from De'Aaron Fox. The problem was the decision after moving on from De'Aaron Fox. And I know we've talked about this before, but I think that now that people are seeing, well, I would have rather had De'Aaron Fox than Zack Lavine and what we have now, I don't think anybody is disagreeing with that. But that still doesn't mean that De'Aaron Fox is all of a sudden this perfect player that, oh my goodness, the Kings never should have moved on from. He had his flaws. And those flaws won't be as obvious with Area 51, with Victor Wembanyama. And we'll see what happens with the young players. I think what De'Aaron did was incredibly business savvy. Kyle and I were talking about it before the show. They're looking around at certain, and I know he's from Texas and all that. I get all that. He also knew that the Spurs aren't paying anybody right now. So Rich Paul and his business savvy, if we're looking at teams to choose from, why wouldn't the Spurs give you this money? They have to pay somebody. And in 2 years, whatever it is, when the cap continues to go up, we'll see how bad the contract looks. But it might not look that bad. But for now, De'Aaron, let's get you that money. So just because a lot of us aren't happy with the decision, because that's what it should have been, right? De'Aaron says, you know what? I actually want out of here. And the Kings say, all right, let's start the soft rebuild. That's what it was supposed to be. The Kings decided not to do that. And when they traded De'Aaron, that was also an issue. But the idea of moving on from De'Aaron Fox inherently was not the issue to me. Moving on from De'Aaron Fox and understanding, hey, this guy is not a number one. This guy doesn't really want to be a number one. Could they have supported De'Aaron much better? Of course. But I don't think this ends with a parade. I don't even know if it ends with multiple playoff runs. Go get Cam Johnson. Go get Cam Johnson that same year. Now, this goes back to after Beam Team season. Let's say they go get, and I don't know where he was at this point. Let's go get Cam Johnson and replace Harrison Barnes with Cam Johnson right after Beam Team season. How good are they? How good are they? So I'm not excusing what they did. De'Aaron deserved more. My big picture of it is that De'Aaron is not a number one. So we look around to the other teams that have won championships and the other teams that are in the playoffs over and over and over again. A lot of them have one of those guys. We've had these conversations for years now. So now that De'Aaron's gone, now that De'Aaron's in greener pastures in a completely different situation, I don't even know if they're comparable, to be honest. Now all of a sudden, well, we shouldn't have moved on from De'Aaron. I don't know that was the issue. The issue was when you moved on from De'Aaron and what you decided to get back. But it wasn't necessarily moving on from De'Aaron. I just want to make that distinction. But if I'm way off, call in 916-339-1140, and we can have that conversation. Speaking of calling in, that's exactly what you're going to do if you want to live the sweet life with me, Allen Stiles.
Well, you're going to text, not call.
You're going to text in, and we're giving away tickets this week, the ultimate giveaway of a Sacramento River Cats suite for August 20th. Each suite includes 20 tickets, dedicated suite attendant, cable television, and climate control indoor and outdoor seating, panoramic view of the game, and access to the Sky River Casino Solon Club. So you're going to listen for that keyword of the day and text it in 916-339-1140 for your chance to win. We will give you that keyword at the bottom of the hour. So 10:45, you will have an opportunity for that. We're going to have a lot of conversation about De'Aaron Fox today. And hey, some people think it's a bad contract. I think that timing is everything. And De'Aaron, like I said, he played this just about as perfectly as he could, and the Kings aided in his perfection, if you will. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the other star, the last star that's really left on this squad, and the last star from the Beam team, because I'm not going to disrespect DeMar DeRozan like that. Domantas Sabonis. So going back to the conversation that we had yesterday during Crosstalk with Whitey Gleason and how these numbers are just getting quite silly for basketball, and they're only going to get sillier, right? And I have said time and time again that guys like Devin Booker, who's going to be making $66 million a year, just incredible amounts of money here. Guys like that, obviously Shea did win a championship, and they're in a position to continue to win them, so that's a little bit different. But with the amount of money, and I've joked about Dame Lillard, how he never wanted to leave Portland. He just wanted to keep rapping and enjoying his time in Portland. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, he couldn't say that, and I think we were joking about swirlies and putting people into their lockers yesterday. I think that Dame Lillard got bullied into leaving Portland, and you will never be able to convince me otherwise. I think that Dame Lillard never wanted to leave Portland, but he felt like he kind of had to. That doesn't mean Dame Lillard didn't want to win, because I do believe that most of these guys want to win. But do they feel as if uprooting their family, Dame was in the middle of a divorce or whatever it is, now he's away from his kids, he's in Milwaukee, he's thinking it's not worth it. Then he gets in, he was injured this whole thing, he had the blood clot, now he tore his Achilles. And Dame's probably just thinking, what was the point? What was the point? And I bring this up because I look at Domantas Sabonis and the money that he's making right now. And we were fully pocket watching, okay? You got $39 million from last season. This season, he'll make $42.3 million, $45.4 million the season after that, and $48.6. The brother doesn't even live in Sacramento. No, that's just the reality. He lives in Napa, okay? Napa is regarded as one of the most beautiful cities in America, right? You're making $42 million a year. You are on a team where you have your coach, right? The guy that you wanted, your former personal coach. You're starting to implement some new things. Maybe you wish you'd win a little bit more. You just had another kid. So they got, 3 now? Okay. Why in the hell would you even think about leaving Sacramento? Why? Kyle and I always go back and forth. Hey, you don't move Domantas Sabonis unless he asks for it. And that's fair for that to be Kyle's opinion. We're talking about Orlando. Right? Let's just continue. We're not going to talk about the actual trade because I got roasted for it. But the idea of going to Orlando. What would convince Domantas Sabonis to just wake up in the morning one day, right, as he trips over one of his millions on the way to the bathroom to brush his teeth?
It's like his kids' toys.
Yeah. Give me back that 100. Give me back that 100. You don't need that.
Instead of playing with toys,
they just play with $100 bills.
But a stack of them so that you trip over it like a
when
rubber
they play
duck.
Monopoly, it's actually real money. That's what it is. And we're having some fun. Obviously, hey, proud of you. Do what you got to do.
Oh, if I had 9 figures, that would be something I would want to do.
But he goes to the bathroom and something just convinces him, you know what? I want to leave. I want to go to Orlando to compete. I want to go somewhere else for the chance to win a championship. Not a guarantee. And I think this Dame Lillard thing, Devin Booker signed about a month or so after the Dame Lillard situation. And people are saying, oh, what's Devin Booker going to do? You get to a point where winning matters, but how much does it matter? And I don't know how the NBA is going to balance this as you're looking at Luka in 3 years getting $80 million a year. You're not going to have to worry about these dudes wanting out, because why would they leave? Why? What's the point? Why would Domantas Sabonis leave? He lives in Napa. He runs the city of Sacramento. He's got his coach. He's going to leave to maybe win a little bit more. I mean, it would have to be a perfect situation. Now, I'm saying all this, and breaking news, Domantas Sabonis has requested, I'm just kidding, because someone's going to get in the car and say, what did I miss? But think about it. Think about you in your car. I'm thinking, I'm doing the math here. Why in the world, and I can only imagine what their house looks like, and I'm only bringing up Domantas Sabonis because that was a conversation going into the summer. But if you dial it back and just take out the idea of, I need to be a champion, I need to be this, who requests a transfer with 3 young kids in an area that you love, that you're comfortable in, that you've been in, and by the way, your new boss is somebody that you've had a relationship with? Why would he do that?
And you can't really control exactly where you want to go, right?
Well, in this organization, you can. That's the Aaron Fox.
Well, yeah, if you play it right, they'll cave. You know, this is the whole Kuminga Warriors thing. Like, no one's going to blink. The Kings will immediately blink.
Yeah.
They're just going to start blink. But anyways, like, I'll just throw out an example. Let's say he's like, hey, I know I didn't really grow up there, but, like, dad played for the Trailblazers. Mm-hmm. Trailblazers are on the rise. Let's say Portland gets the 4 seed this year or something.
Gonzaga, it's up there too.
Sure, whatever.
All, Portland, Washington, it's all up there.
I kind of remember, I think he moved out of there when he was like 6, but it's like, I kind of remember what Portland was like. My dad's jersey is famous there, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. You can try and force your way there, but like, if the Kings say, well, this other team's taking a better offer, then Orlando it is. So like, that's the tough part about it. If you want to leave with 2 years, like the leverage he has is the impending free agency.
Right.
And the closer you get to free agency, the more control you have over where you're going to go. But, you know, if he decides, I want to go to this very specific situation, it's going to be a little harder for Domantas Sabonis to do it now or next summer than it would be like for De'Aaron Fox to have done it. And that's just because of, A, he's older, so he's probably not going to cost as much in a trade, and B, he also has 2 playoff runs left, and that's right around the point where a team is like, hey, I know you're not thrilled to come here, but we feel like we're a piece away, and we're just going to try it.
I guess the larger, not theory, but the larger idea that has struck me over this past season, you look at Bradley Beal, right? Essentially saying, well, he had a no trade clause and he said, I do not want to go anywhere, right? Kevin Durant, he said he just didn't want to get moved. He wanted to finish what he wanted to finish. Kevin Durant, a bit of a different situation because he doesn't have kids. Kevin Durant is a hooper. That's all he wants to do is play basketball, right? That's literally, somebody joked because he was at Taylor Rooks' wedding and somebody, I'm assuming he had a +1. Somebody photoshopped a basketball and he was just sitting at the table in a suit with the basketball.
Yeah,
that's Kevin Durant.
His life is play basketball, smoke, and tweet.
Exactly. But a lot of these other guys that do have, okay, I got my kids and I'm not trying to do all this and now I got all this money. And I don't know that Devin Booker has got a family. It didn't really make a difference to Devin Booker because he just felt I might as well be a god in Phoenix than try to go to Detroit. No, I'd probably pick Phoenix over Detroit myself. Go to Detroit, be a 1B, 2A, whatever it is, and probably lose to the Celtics once Jason Tatum gets healthy.
Or the Magic,
whatever it is. Sure. He's already been to a finals, even though they didn't win it. I don't know how often when these teams are signing these contracts now, I don't know how often we'll have to deal with that stretch when everybody was worried about the player control because you had Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. And I know we're watching the Kuminga thing, but that's kind of a one-off in my opinion. We were all worried about player power. Their players have too much power, and I think they do. But I think on the flip side of it, some of them will use the power the same way James Harden did, but I think a lot of them are going to use the power to say, I'm pretty comfortable right here. I don't need to run around and chase some ghost, whatever it is, and we'll never know. I am not saying that Domantas Sabonis doesn't care about winning the same way I never said that Dame Lillard doesn't care about winning. I'm not saying any of that. It's about being comfortable, right? And how that seesaw is going to balance out differently than back in the 90s when you were making good money. And in the early 2000s, you're making good money. And in even the 2010s, you could argue, you're making good money and you're making generational wealth. Don't get me wrong. But these guys now, you're going to have to convince – Kyle, you're going to have to convince me to want a change in my lifestyle, a change in all this because we're not winning enough. They are winning. Russell Westbrook famously said this, or infamously, and he said, based on where I came from, I am a champion. I am. And if more, and whether you come from an upbringing like Westbrook or not, they're going to start looking at it, I think, in a different way to say, I don't give a damn about a ring. I'm worth $300 million and we're comfortable out here. We got our winery. Why am I going to leave?
Well, here's the thing that changed, though, was after the Kevin Durant leaving Oklahoma City for Golden State, they changed the collective bargaining so that these guys would cost themselves $80 to $100 million if they left, right? Luka getting traded. What is the thing that people kept saying? Luka lost $100 million by getting traded from Dallas to the Lakers because they've set up the CBA now where you have to give up almost 9 figures to make that move. And most players are like, I want to win, but I also want to win in the place that I'm at now and make $90 to $100 million more. The NBA made it too costly for players to just leave that money on the table.
So that was my thought. I don't think we have to worry about Domantas Sabonis asking out. Because if you really just take a step back and look at the money being made, I don't know how many players in general are going to look. Kuminga doesn't have that money yet. That's the biggest difference. Kuminga feels like he got screwed out of that money. So Kuminga doesn't count. Once you have this type of money coming through, what else matters? And I do think that it might become, I'm not ever going to question these guys' their competitiveness, but it gets to a point where you're waking up thinking, oh, yeah, we'll play. Let's get out there. All right, if we win, we win. If not, yeah, everyone says, oh, you're going to Cancun. Yeah, I am. I could probably buy all the resorts out there. 4 hours with you. So no Westbrook if they don't get Kuminga. Apparently, that's what Carmichael Dave said. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
Experience the excitement of Sacramento Rivercats baseball at Sutter Health Park. From thrilling plays on the field to fun in the stands with family and friends, Rivercats baseball is for everyone. Enjoy lively entertainment all season long, the best ballpark food around, some of the finest views of the city, and baseball memories with the Sacramento Rivercats to last a lifetime. Grab your tickets now at rivercats.com.
And we're back live during a Flex Alert. Dialed in on the thermostat. Oh, we're pre-cooling before 4 p.m., folks.
And that's the end of the third. Time to set it back to 78 from 4 to 9 p.m. Clutch move by the home team. What's the game plan from here on out?
Laundry?
Not today.
Dishwasher?
Sidelined.
What a performance by Team California. The power truly is ours.
During a Flex Alert, pre-cool, power down, and let's beat the heat together.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Sponsored by the California Army National Guard and Hot Valley Brewing. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emron Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
No man is giving up $257 million or anything like that for a ring that's worth a fraction of that. Well, you don't necessarily have to give anything up that's from the 916, but it's more about they're so comfortable they don't need to chase the ring, right? And it goes. I'm only bringing up Domantas Sabonis because he's not the largest contract, but he's the longest largest contract on the Kings. And there's this conversation or worry, or at least there was at the beginning of the summer. He's going to assess the situation. Yeah, so am I. I'm gonna wake up. do the what is it, risky business that just came out today. That's what Jason was talking about for celebrity birthdays or celebrity birthdays for movies. I'm going to do the risky business slide on my diamond-plated floor, and I'm going to have a glass of wine and say, yeah, honey, I've assessed the situation. I think I'm cool. I think I'm good. And a lot of people will sleep on Sacramento. Like I said, the brother lives in Napa, but a lot of people will sleep on Sacramento. Do you know, out of even the NBA cities, and I might have purple lenses on, but weather-wise, right? Again, you're close enough to all. Now I sound like a Sacramento ad, which I just saw one on TV. It was pretty good, by the way. You're still close to Tahoe. They might have a house in Tahoe. You're still close to Tahoe. You're still close to the Bay. You could take your private jet to LA whenever you want. You know how many worse places you could be in the NBA than Sacramento? And that's even if you didn't rake in $45 million a year. So again, anything can happen. De'Aaron, he had a plan, and he already had his max extension, his first one. De'Aaron had a plan. He had his ties to Texas, and we still don't know what would have happened if the Kings didn't immediately bend the knee. We still don't know. There was no fat suit involved. There was no holdout involved. We never got there. So we're going to see this from time to time. De'Aaron and his family felt like they wanted to get back to Texas. Cool. Gets to play with a once-in-a-generation player in Wemby. So we'll still see this from time to time. And De'Aaron also knew they're not paying anybody right now. We can get that max extension because they're not giving nobody else money. And Rich Paul is not going to let that money just go to waste. You're going to pay somebody. So it's still going to happen, don't get me wrong. But I woke up this morning thinking, why would Domantas Sabonis, why would he do it? Why would he do that? Why would any of these players do it? Specifically when you do have a family and you don't even necessarily know what you're chasing. It would have to be a tailor-made. He's not just going to say it into the void, right? And say, find me somewhere. It would have to be something pretty dang similar to De'Aaron Fox, and there's somebody, they're just missing a link and it works out perfectly. I don't see a lot of players just randomly saying, trade me somewhere. Trade me. Now, they all have short lists, but I don't even know if you're Domantas Sabonis, his specific skill set. Again, the coach that he wanted is now in the building. A lot of these guys are just going to say, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Well, and, at the end of the season, this is probably the most tumultuous season of Domantas Sabonis' career. There's a lot of frustration. He's upset about the point guard thing, all that. Then you get home a week later, you have a chance to decompress.
Right.
You have a child in May, and it's like, you know what? Okay, things are going pretty well. You get to throw out a terrible first pitch at a game.
Terrible.
It's like, things are going all right. It's not as bad as things are. I have a great relationship with the coach. I get to live in Napa. I get to be the focal point of a basketball team now, an organization that for the most part was building around me.
Yeah,
right.
Everyone else talks trash about them, but they paying me just fine.
Well, and they brought in Valanciunas. They brought in the coach I wanted, got an ear with the man in charge. I think things are going pretty well, relatively speaking,
Yes.
right? Yes, we're not winning, but if I'm one of these athletes, of course, I believe that if you this is what De'Aaron said, if the organization just handles their business and puts me in a position to succeed, I can be a star. I can be the best version of myself. I believe a lot of these athletes think that way. And why wouldn't you if you've made it this far in your journey and you're already, despite playing for the Pacers and the Kings, you're already one of the 20 best players in basketball.
Yeah, and this whole thing, my dad I literally sound like my father because he was just very much when, I would get upset when my team loses, whatever. He would say, why are you getting upset for? These guys are multi-millionaires. They're not upset. They're upset for a half second. Why? What are you getting upset for? He would tell me that all the time. And when I first thought about this from the Domantas Sabonis point of view, the initial thought was how everybody is bagging on the Kings for losing De'Aaron Fox, and now he got his bag, and the Kings are, quote-unquote, stuck with DeMar and Zack Lavine. So this all started with me assessing how Domantas Sabonis, how do you think Domantas Sabonis feels about how the offseason has gone, right? Because he's really kind of stuck. A lot of people want the Kings to reset, but if you want Domantas Sabonis and if you don't want Domantas Sabonis to ask out, you essentially can't reset. So Domantas Sabonis, maybe he feels, I don't really know what else we could have done, right? I believe that we get some more time together with Zack Lavine, DeMar, and Keegan. He was a big believer in Malik Monk starting. So that's how it started for me. How does Domantas Sabonis feel about the offseason so far? Then you start thinking, hey, what else were they going to do? If you secretly don't want to ask for a trade, he's probably thinking, hey, at least they didn't fully rebuild, right? Because then I may have been moved and I'm sure they would have worked with me or whatever the case is, but I wanted to stay out here. I'm comfortable out here, and we have pieces that may or may not work. Obviously, a lot of people don't think that it'll work, but he wanted a point guard. They got him a point guard, right?
It's something.
Hey, this is what you wanted. And obviously they're having conversations. Look, he said in his exit presser he wanted to be a part of these conversations. We don't know that he wasn't for Dennis Shruder. Maybe, and I don't know this, but maybe Domantas Sabonis there were conversations with Scott Perry, and when they were trying to assess which point guard they should go after, Domantas Sabonis said in the exit pressers that he wanted to be a part of those conversations. I don't know that he was or not, but when you look at them giving Dennis Shruder $15 million a year for 3 years, I know the last year is kind of whatever, kind of makes me feel like they may have had a discussion with Domantas Sabonis. I don't know that for sure, obviously, but he's asked for certain things. He asked for, or kind of asked for Doug, or wanted or believed in Doug, I should say, a relationship with Doug, got Doug. Wanted a point guard, got a point guard, right? So it's funny that we were just having the conversation about, well, what happened to the Domantas Sabonis thing? Did they ever have a conversation? Yeah, he probably had a conversation with his wife, and he's got a newborn child, and he's thinking, yeah, I think I'm solid. I think I'm solid for now.
Yeah, and these conversations also, he just signed an extension 2 years ago, so it's like he was happy enough to commit to 4 years back then. Obviously, the De'Aaron situation changes things, but, if you follow them on social media and De'Aaron saying, like, coworker, not friend, I think Sabonis is mad that the team is worse, but maybe isn't mad that De'Aaron specifically is out of town. That wasn't like, well, this is the final straw. You just traded my best friend in the world. It's not quite that. I mean, they did just trade Valanciunas, but Valanciunas was trying to go to play for Olympiacos. So It's a little different there. But I just don't think he was that upset about that. Now it's going to stink if they're the 13 seed next year. Maybe he's like, well, I'm not going to give you 5 more years of my career by signing another extension. But if they are halfway decent, that's probably good sign for him at least playing out this contract.
Exactly. And then they can reassess as a family and make a decision from there. But I'm telling, we all think about it. Look, even if you don't have all the money in the world, moves are a big deal. And you have to decide, okay, are we all going to go? Are you going to stay in Napa? And then we're signing, it's another 5 year. I know it's kind of part of the gig. And it's beyond first world problems, don't get me wrong, but there just might not be a problem that they want to deal with, right? It has to be a good situation. We've talked about, I was the one defending Domantas Sabonis when we talked about the Desmond Bane deal. And there were others on this station saying he couldn't get the Desmond Bane package. And they might be right. So what does that look, what does that market look like for Domantas Sabonis? But I feel like he's probably fairly safe here for now. I don't think he's going to wake up and say, I need to get out of here. Send me somewhere. 916-339-1140. When we return, we have that secret code word for you also. So no Kuminga equals no Westbrook, question mark? That's what Carmichael Dave had to say. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How about you get 30, 30, how about you get 30, how about you get 20, 20, 20, how about you get 20, 20, how about you get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everybody knows that Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the spot to get yourself a brand new car. That's why people are coming from all over. Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. But they also have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles. All makes and models, every one of them top quality, hand-selected by General Manager Chuck Dean. Over 70 vehicles below $30,000, over 25 below $20,000. You can see that full lineup at SacSuperstore.com. And if you find a lower price somewhere else, they'll match it. And on top of that, the best car buying experience anywhere. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Michael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Brought to you by Xfinity. Sports are unpredictable. The price of your internet shouldn't be. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One consistent internet price for 5 years with no annual contracts. Guaranteed.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Yeah, I saw this text first, and it is funny. Now I'm seeing kind of the fallout from it because the texter wanted to know if we'd be interested or if I'd be interested in Jeremy Grant because the Blazers are expected to bring Jeremy Grant off the bench after struggling to find a trade partner, which is so funny because we're in August, and I don't know that we've seen any reports on the Blazers trying to trade Jeremy Grant. The last time we talked about Jeremy Grant, it was him saying he did not want to leave Portland during the trade deadline. So they say per Sean Highkin, right? That was from NBA Central, and that's probably where the texter got it from. And now Sean Highkin, who is a Blazers insider, says this is not what I said. I did not say that. So he goes on to say, what I actually wrote was that nobody should be guaranteed a starting spot based on salary or tenure. I have no idea in early August who's going to end up winning what role in training camp in October. Yeah, Jeremy Grant, to answer the texter, they wanted to discuss maybe DeMar DeRozan and Devin Carter for a Jeremy Grant. I just think personally, the Blazers are already weirdly taking shots away from their young players, right? And Drew Holiday at least is not a volume shooter, but there's really no reason to bring in DeMar DeRozan. And Zach Lavine makes too much. So I don't see how the Kings, even if they wanted to, it's still not a great contract with Jeremy Grant, but I don't see how the Kings could get into that conversation just because the guys that have the salary numbers that would work. I don't know why the Blazers would want DeMar DeRozan. That's one where it actually makes sense to where he would be taking shots away from their future.
I guess one scenario I would say is if we wait until either the trade deadline or next summer, it makes more sense to trade Zach Lavine for Jeremy Grant, because then Lavine would only have 1 year left and Jeremy Grant would have 2. But dear God, nobody's paying for 3 years of Jeremy Grant and $100 million left on that deal. The same way nobody's paying for 2 years and $100 million of Zach Lavine. It's just not going to happen. But maybe next summer, I think Zach Lavine for Jeremy Grant would make more sense.
Yeah, and he's got the $32 million this coming season, then $34 million, and then a player. Those player options will get you every time. Player option for $36.4 million. So,
and he's a bench player.
Yeah, well, he's not yet.
He's going to be. I promise you. It's
going
to be.
Don't know that yet.
It's going to be Scoot, Drew Holiday, Denny, Tamani, and Klingon. Yeah. Or
he ain't even going to be first because you got Shaden Sharp. You didn't even say Shaden Sharp.
Oh, he's coming off the bench.
I know, and he's probably coming off the bench before Jeremy Grant. So
ain't no way they're playing Tumani Kamara off the bench for Jeremy Grant. It's just not happening.
Thanks for shouting that out to, I believe that was the 916. But yeah, I don't see how the Kings could be a part of that conversation, specifically for DeMar DeRozan. All right, Kyle, let's hear from Carmichael Dave and what he had to say about the Westbrook Kaminga connection that we've been kind of curious about. Here it is.
As far as the Kings go, Jason, I struggle with directly connecting this, but it's certainly a possibility that Kaminga is a domino in the sense that they are crowded in the backcourt. That crowd is largely not point guards. They have one true point guard on the roster. And they want to add more, but they can't add another guard without getting rid of a guard.
Mm-hmm.
If Kuminga came in, that gives them a sorely needed person at the 4. A guard would be going out, which now creates an open spot. Still probably a little mismatched even after that. And they had their full mid-level exception that they could then, if they chose to, turn around and offer to Russell Westbrook, who we know they have talked to for a while, that Scott Perry is very fond of him. Scott Perry was on the staff that drafted him. There's mutual interest. So to say, hey, if they're able to work this Kuminga trade out as it's presented, that means they're also going to sign Russell Westbrook. That may not be the case, but it certainly is incredibly plausible. And we do know this, for the Westbrook thing to happen, the Kuminga thing would almost definitely have to happen.
Yeah, I mean, so let's say Kuminga doesn't, then is that a off-the-table thing for Russ? Because, I mean, you're already crowded in the backcourt. Yeah. You wouldn't have lost a guard, and now you'd be adding another one.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I do. I think it is, unless they found another deal. Mm-hmm. This is a deal we know about.
Yeah, maybe there's other things they're working on. Yeah,
we know about this. It's been played out. I think, honestly, and I say this as somebody who's a part of reporting it, I think it's played out a little too much in the public.
Yeah, I think we can even go back to Sam. This would be, maybe it's about a month to 2 months old now, when Sam was saying, look, at the beginning, I'm sure Scott Perry was looking at trying anything he could maybe to see if Zack Lavine could be moved. That, well, there wasn't a lot of takers, which understandably so, just based on contract. And then I think DeRozan was a name that they were looking at and not getting back what they would have liked.
Right.
So you don't make a move just to make a move. Then that's where Monk's name started to come in a little bit more, because I think some people would be coveting someone like Monk. And that's why, salary-wise, with this potential thing with the Warriors. But yeah, I don't, it's been a little bit of a difficult offseason for a lot of teams. And the Warriors specifically, they've been on hold here. They're waiting on this Kuminga thing because, they've been rumored with guys like Al Horford and a few others. Like, they really can't do anything until they get this other one resolved.
Makes a good bit of sense. That's from Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You can catch them in the mornings, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm just curious as to whether or not Russell Westbrook has any other offers, because it feels as if he's either prioritizing the Sacramento Kings, or he has nobody else, or he's just to the point of his career where he's just going to wait, see what could happen, right? An injury somewhere, a team just kind of changing their thought process. But yeah, we asked the question yesterday, and when Dave put out those notes, the biggest question that I had, besides Keegan Murray's extension, was, is Russ connected to Jonathan Kuminga? And it sounds like, even if unofficially, just reading the tea leaves, he is connected to Jonathan Kuminga, because just too many guards. It's just too many. And it's not really fair. And I hate to use that word when talking about sports, but it's not really fair to anybody, right? Because and from that perspective, why would Russ sign up for that unless he truly has nowhere else to go? So as the Kuminga stuff kind of cools off, and anything can happen, that's what they even said yesterday from Tim Kawakami, and anything can happen. But if they don't, as presently constructed, it does not sound like Russell Westbrook would just be added to the roster. And that's what we discussed yesterday. Hey, move on from Terrence Davis and just add Russ to the roster. Doesn't sound like that is the case right now. Anything can change, but as of right now. And also right now, we're giving you the chance to live the sweet life with me, Allen Stiles, this week with the ultimate giveaway of a Sacramento River Cats suite for August 20th. Each suite includes 20 tickets, dedicated suite attendant, cable, television, and climate control, indoor and outdoor seating, panoramic view of the game, and access to the Sky River Casino So Long Club. Listen for the keyword of the day and text it in to 916-339-1140 for your chance to win. Today's keyword of the day is sweet. Not like the dessert, like the suite that you'll be in if you're lucky enough to win. SUITE. Sweet. Okay, so text that in for your chance to win. When we return, we will be joined by Coach Eric Martins to discuss all things A's post-trade deadline. Now on South Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Experience the excitement of Sacramento Rivercats baseball at Sutter Health Park. From thrilling plays on the field to fun in the stands with family and friends, Rivercats baseball is for everyone. Enjoy lively entertainment all season long, the best ballpark food around, some of the finest views of the city, and baseball memories with the Sacramento Rivercats to last a lifetime. Grab your tickets now at rivercats.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Seems like back to school happens earlier each year.
First day of school coming in hot.
And this year, my kids had massive supply lists.
Folders, notebooks, and pens. Oh, the humanity.
But Staples had everything I needed, with some items just 25 cents.
Watch the small print.
No. My back to school budget was saved by Staples Easy Button.
Everything for school, in stock and as low as 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. In Sync 23 while supplies last.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
On Sacktown Sports.
Even though we're giving you 30 minutes straight, commercial-free sports talk, local sports talk, we even got you in a little earlier. It's not even 11 yet. That's how much we care about you, Sacramento. And we are joined, of course, the same way we are every Tuesday at 11 by third base coach for the Athletics, Eric Martins. Coach, thanks for joining us.
You got it. You got it. Happy to be here.
Let's start here, Coach. Nick Kurtz. I know we've talked about him time and time again, but he just keeps on stacking on those accolades. AL Player of the Month for the month of July. Just how excited is the organization? I won't name names, but I was talking about some other organizations and just how they've gone so long without just having a true stud, right? Or showing that stud potential early. How exciting is it to have somebody like him? And obviously we talked about Jacob Wilson, but how exciting is it to have a guy like Nick Kurtz in the organization with so much team control and just beyond that, just the potential that he has?
It's super exciting. I mean, that's what we're trying to build here, right? And, we got the pieces in place, and Nick Kurtz obviously is a big part of it. You've seen what Jacob Wilson's done. You've seen what, Rooker's done. You've seen what Law's done. You've seen what Soderstrom's doing now. So, you're starting to put these pieces together, and you're starting to really get excited of what the future holds for us.
Yeah, with that being said, Coach, Mason Miller did get dealt. I know we talked about it here on this program, and it kind of went back and forth. And I know a lot of A's fans were upset about it, thinking maybe the timelines weren't as spread apart as maybe some others felt. But you got a bit of a haul with the shortstop and a couple other pitchers you got in return. Talk to us about that process when you found out about Mason and how it worked with the team and their thoughts on everything and how the organization is moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a lot, right? It was one of those things where, look, you're not just going to trade him to trade him. If we're going to trade him, we're going to have to get what we want, and there's no desire or need to have to trade him unless we get what we want. So I think the organization and us as a whole feel really good about what we got. We got the number 3 prospect in all of baseball, and DeVries, a shortstop who's going to be a superstar, who's going to be an all-star. So, I mean, if you're able to acquire talent like that, we also got their number 3 prospect and a couple of pitchers and one that's on our roster now. So, I mean, you got to be excited about the talent that you got back in return for Mason. Our trades in the past have been okay, but this one is pretty exciting. I know that everybody's happy about what we got in return. It's sad to see see Mason and JP leave. It's unfortunate that we weren't in a different state of the organization where we were trying to acquire players to add to our roster, but it's what happens. You know what I mean? So when you have an opportunity to make the future even brighter, then you do it. And we got a pretty good haul for Mason and JP.
I would agree with that. Talking to Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. Another name that was kind of thrown around, Coach, and I think we had even talked about the vets in this regard. Miguel Anduhar, he had started to heat up at the plate and was really good for you guys early in the season. Not to say that anything is easier than others, but talk about just what he brought to the team and how maybe it was more understood that somebody in his position could get moved, even if it doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah, it was tough. Me and I had a really good relationship, especially, transitioning him back into the third base spot. But even before, when he was strictly an outfielder, playing a little bit of first base here, he brings a lot of energy. He's a baseball player. He loves the game. He loves to play. He doesn't care what position you put him in. He's got a great personality. Guys loved him. And it's hard when you lose guys like that. I mean, the same goes to be said about Mason and JP, who were outstanding in the clubhouse. But, Miggy for me was a different one. And he was starting to heat up. He's starting to get more comfortable at third. And for me as a coach, I'm happy to see him flourish at a position where, the Yankees or other organizations thought he couldn't play anymore. And he actually played really well for us. So for me as a coach, it brings a little tear to my eye having seen him leave and go to an organization, but he has an opportunity to go play somewhere else and make a playoff push. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the individual. I'll miss him as a person, but it's one of those things we got to prospect in return, and it's kind of in the position where we're at right now. Like I said, if things are different, he's an important part of our lineup, an important part of this team moving forward.
Yeah, without a doubt. Talking to Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. Just as we're having this conversation, Coach, is there a feeling of maybe a weight being lifted, right? Whether you're buyers, I guess if you're a buyer, the weight isn't lifted because now you hope that whoever you bought is going to produce for you. But being in more of the selling position, is there more of a weight lifted, even though you did move on from Mason and Miguel Anduhar and some guys that you really liked having in the organization? But is there a weight lifted to now, hey, we know where we're at. We're kind of playing spoiler, but we can focus in on who we have, go into the next season with some good momentum, and just let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time we've been in this position. You know what I mean? So I feel like the last few years, we have some good players that other teams have wanted to acquire. We weren't sure what we were going to do. That's all on the front office. So you always get that feeling around this time of the year anyway. So, we still got a lot to play for the rest of the season and on a good note, which we have been playing pretty good, and continue the tradition and the trend of playing better baseball and continuing to get better as a team and just push the needle in the right direction for the next couple of years.
Obviously, we've discussed the pitching before and how that just that's the game, man. You got to be able to pitch the baseball if you want to compete. As far as the position players are concerned, is there a position going into the rest of this season? We were joking about the Giants and how they're essentially having open tryouts in right field. Is there a position on the A's that you maybe feel like you're trying to solidify before this season ends, heading into next season? Or does everything seem I know we moved on from Miguel Anduhar, but is there a position out there that the organization is hoping to maybe lock up and feel a little bit better about heading into the end of this season and the next season, or do you feel pretty solid all around?
I think we feel pretty solid all around. We have some injuries. So Muncie's hurt right now. Obviously, Wilson's hurt right now, so we're kind of filling in those positions. Hernandez has come up and done a great job. Gio's a vet at third base. You got Urias who could move around a little bit. Schumann, who's the ultimate utility guy. So I think we feel pretty good about our position player depth. I mean, you're never in a position where you don't want to acquire extra depth, or if you can get an impact bat somewhere else, maybe free agency. So as far as positions, I'm not really sure where there's a need. I mean, we're pretty, got Denzel who's hurt right now, so we're missing him in center field, which would slide Law back over to right, and then left field we kind of have a platoon situation. So it looks pretty good as far as position player wise. And once we get a few of these players off the injury list, then it'll be fun to see what the last month of the season would look like.
Gonna end it with, I guess, kind of a funny question when it comes to just the mental part of the game, Coach. Do you see, or have you in the past, because you talked about being in this position before, do you see a difference in players at the plate and maybe even on the mound once you're in the spoiler role and you kind of know what you're playing for? Do you see a difference in the shoulders, maybe relaxing a little bit? And if you do, how do you get that to translate to the beginning of the season and just understanding, hey, the pressure is still on here? I'm just thinking, well, once, you're not playing, obviously not playing for fun, but being a spoiler is a little bit different than all these teams that went out and they bought, and the Yankees, they got a bunch of pitchers. They got one from the Giants, and it hasn't really worked out for them since. There is a level of pressure that the buyers have that the sellers don't have.
No, you're right. I mean, it's unfortunate that we're in this position now, but you got to find different ways to motivate you to continue to play the game. You know what I mean? If it's playing spoiler, then be it. You know what I mean? But we put ourselves in this position in the last couple of years of playing bad baseball in May, and the last 2 seasons. Like I said a couple times before, if we cut that 20-game skid that we had early in half, this would be a different story. So for us, it's these guys got to continue to go out and play the game. Nothing's guaranteed for them. You know what I mean? These guys are still playing for their jobs. They're still playing for their livelihood. And if you're in a position to be able to play spoiler, then that if that's got to give you extra motivation, then sure, let's do it. We were able to beat Seattle a couple times. We swept Houston. So, it gives you that extra motivation to continue to let the division know that, hey, just because we're out of it this year doesn't mean we're still not coming for you guys when we play you. So I think that's the message that's being sent to these teams in the division, saying, look, just because we had a bad month and we're not in it right now, we're still a team to be reckoned with in the future.
Coach Eric Martins, always a pleasure. I know you're on the East Coast right now, right?
Yeah, DC, and then we go to Baltimore after this.
There you go. Well, when you go to Baltimore, I know they got the Old Bay out there, and you can get a crab sandwich or something like that.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
There you go. Enjoy yourself out there, Coach, and hopefully you come back to Sacramento with some W's as well. So we appreciate you taking the time, as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you.
I'm telling you, Kyle, you were laughing back there. That was Coach Eric Martins, third base coach. That Old Bay seasoning, you just go to Maryland and you just smell it. You literally smell it in the air.
It's
everywhere. It's on the fries. It's on the crab. It's everywhere. I love it personally.
It just smells like the ocean.
It's just you literally. I remember we went to an Orioles game. By the way, I would call the Orioles ballpark, and they're up there in DC right now. I got to go to I haven't been to the Nationals ballpark, but I would call the Orioles ballpark. What is it? Is it still Camden? Is it not Camden anymore?
I think it has a sponsorship,
okay.
But yeah, it's still at Camden Yards.
Very underrated. It's a very cool setup. If you find yourself out there, and you can hit a couple of them because that area, you can do some train rides and you can hop in your car, whatever it is. Go check out where the Orioles play. It's a pretty cool spot.
Everyone says it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few ballparks where it's like everyone says, "Oh yeah, that's just a great experience."
Yeah.
It's like that, Petco, Coors Field in Colorado. There's just a few where everyone's like, "Oh yeah, just a great experience. You should go."
There you go. So thanks to Coach Eric Martins. Hopefully the A's can at least be successful in playing spoiler. No reason to not root for them on that one, which also means that the River Kitties are back in town. That's right, Kyle. Get it? I know you're ready. And I will be there tonight for as they kick off their homestand. And this will be, I think, the homestand before the next homestand, which will be where we will have that suite. There might be one in between, but I think Senor Segue strikes again. I think
yes, it's Saturday, August 20th. So yes,
there you go. So great stuff from Coach Eric Martins, and you get to check out where the A's and Rivercats play if you win this suite giveaway. I haven't even been in a suite. When I go to this for the Suite Life with Allen Stiles, this will be my first suite.
Wait, sorry. It's the 20th, right?
It's the 20th.
That's a Wednesday, actually.
Of August.
Yes. So
that's right.
You can spend a Wednesday night with 20 of your closest or not closest friends, family, coworkers, with Allen Stiles' first ever suite experience.
That's right.
I mean, how could you not want to be a part of that? There's literally... If I were legally allowed to win, I would be texting in the name right now.
There's a bunch of texts that have come in when we gave away that secret code keyword at the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour. We will do it again at the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour. So you will have multiple chances to win throughout the week. All right. As we boogie on back to some Kings talk and the idea of some of the revisionist history. And I have some text to read through from when we brought this up to kick off the show. But just the idea that some people are maybe being a little squirrely when it comes to the revisionist history with De'Aaron Fox, right? That is what I brought up. And then after that, I said, hey, who's still out there can be honest with us and say that they were willing to move off. They wanted to move off from De'Aaron Fox. I think that we were getting clouded by the move that the Kings made when they moved on from De'Aaron Fox. And that is now turning into, well, we shouldn't have done it. I don't think the argument was whether you should have done it or not. You could have paid him, don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's egregious to move off of a kind of a fringe number one. I think it's egregious to bend the knee as soon as they don't request a trade, but do request a trade and immediately move off from them and then move off from them for one of the worst contracts. And this is how it's viewed. I'm not saying that I feel that way, but one of the worst contracts in the NBA and Zack Lavine. That's the issue. So that is starting to, I think, get convoluted with the idea of initially moving off from De'Aaron Fox. And he's getting paid, and he's a number two, and everything is honky-dory out there in San Antonio at the Riverwalk. But let's just cool it down a little bit, right? 916 says, wait, are a lot of people thinking De'Aaron was amazing now? You're right, Alan. Mistakes were made, but the move was probably the right one. Another 916 says, Alan, my name is Michael, and I'm telling you, as a diehard Kings fan, I'm glad they got rid of the drama that was coming with De'Aaron Fox and a fill-in star to me that's not good enough in 7 years. So yeah, a couple thoughts coming through from different people, and I hear you. And I'm not saying, hey, call in and tell me how much you couldn't stand De'Aaron Fox. I'm not saying that. But yesterday I went ahead and I said a couple things. I said De'Aaron Fox at $52 million a year over the next 5 years, and it jumps to $57 a year after this upcoming season, should make the Kings fans feel a little bit better about Zack Lavine at 48 over the next 2 years, meaning 48 each, right? A lot of people, and again, it's different on social media, but a lot of people saying, no, I would have rather had De'Aaron, blah, 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 blah. Well, I didn't say that you wouldn't rather have De'Aaron. That's also not an option. De'Aaron is gone. I'm trying to help you feel better about having Zack Lavine, who is on your team. So then I go on to say, I personally don't think Fox is light years better than Zack Lavine. It's just human nature to compare them, and the Kings asked Zack to be a point guard playmaker after they lost theirs. They need to set him up for success. They need to set him up for success, and they didn't do that. Now, how good is Dennis Shruder, and how much better are the Kings set up for success? I think they are set up better than they were. right? The problem is the West is a beast. But Zack Lavine, I'm starting to wonder, when are we going to get the workout vids, right? I've seen workout videos. I want to see them working together, a couple of them. We saw the one a month ago at USC with, who was that, DeMar? Was it Levine down there?
It was DeMar, Levine, Mason Jones randomly, Musselman, and Doug.
I saw them. That was a month ago, maybe more than that. I've seen Devin Carter, right, doing his thing. And y'all hop in if you've seen stuff. I'm still looking to see at least a couple of them work out together. Maybe it'll come up soon. Everyone's still in, hey, let's just, have some fun and do workouts with guys we don't normally get to work out with. But I'm waiting to see some of these guys in the gym.
Or, like last year we had like Uncle Keegan babysitting for Fox's.
Are y'all talking? What's going on?
Like, at least I think it was Rasay posted Keegan. Like, at least, like, yes, we're never going to see Keegan. He just disappears into the void every summer. But who knows? Maybe you get Sabonis and Keegan having lunch or just something like that. Just any sighting of any of these guys would be kind of nice.
916 says, Allen, it's Allen. Am I the only person who wants to extend Lavine? Let's not lose Fox for nothing. Well, it's funny you say that, Allen, but with an A, because I know the first thing that Kyle Ledbetter will do is say, all right, updated Fox trade, nothing. Literally nothing. It's all gone once Zack Lavine is off the books.
Which, again, that's already a negative because they literally can't trade him.
I don't know that I would look at it like that, right?
They also got Nick Clifford, in fairness.
Yeah, that's true.
So either Nick Clifford's going to be a Hall of Famer or we're going to lose the trade.
I don't know that I would look at it like that, Allen. And I would say that sometimes you just got to wear it, right? If I'm Scott Perry, I am in no way extending Zack Lavine for a move that I didn't initially make. Maybe if Monty McNair was still there, but I am in no way extending a guy that I didn't trade for, right? And if you did extend him, this is the same conversation that we have since we're here. Let's not just do away with what Allen said. Based on the market, right? Zack Lavine, let's say he opts in and he plays pretty well. How would Kings fans feel if they did extend him, but it's Zack Lavine at 30 mil a year? Hey, we're going to sign you to a new 3-year deal, 3 years, 90 mil. So he's not making 47 anymore. He's making what, 30 a year, right? Is that something that Kings fans would be okay with? I think that to be honest with you, and I'm not going to speak for all Kings fans, I think that it's just a representation of a botched trade, right? And hopefully Nick Clifford balls out, but essentially a botched trade that sometimes you just got to take your medicine. And I don't know that Zack Lavine, even at 30 million, would, again, you take away, or he's now making less, right? And this is still Sacramento, and I know it's hard to get free agents, so he's making less. Domantas Sabonis, I think would have 1 year left on his deal at that point. So I guess I'm just trying to say, and at that point, DeMar would be gone. So maybe, yeah, sure. Now Zack Lavine's at 30. He's your hybrid number 2 with Sabonis. And at that point, you'd have enough money to go get some version of a number 1. At that, Shruder's still on the books.
Yeah, but like you can salary dump him for like Darius Garland.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so does that get you out of bed? It's a better team.
Zack Lavine as a number 3 certainly feels better, but the problem with extending him is that he still has 2 years left on the deal, right? So you're not paying him $30 million until the 2028 season, which is
or would it be what they did with Kyrie though?
So
he gets
opt
through
out
this season. He opts out, and he'd have to agree with that.
Yeah, I guess just make the number larger, right? Because they have to make up for. We've done the equation before of how you get to it, but I guess just instead of saying 30, let's call it 40. If it's 3 years and 40, but he opts out of the 50.
No,
I mean,
just Me personally, if I got to pay him $40 million, and I know the cap is going up.
It's not actually $40 million. It's like making up for the 48 spread out over 3 years.
I think I'm cool.
So
he's 32 at that point.
Well, so that was my point. Is like if you give him the 3 for $30 on top of the 2 years, you've essentially just made a 5-year commitment to Zack Lavine as at least your number 3, or at least your third highest paid player, I should say. You know, he doesn't have to be your number 3 the whole time, but at least your third highest paid player for 5 years. I don't feel like making any kind of long-term commitment like that, especially to a player who has only been here half a season and is 30 years old and has, was an all-star 3 years ago, I will say. I know he could have been an all-star last year, but last time he made the all-star team was 3 years ago. It feels like you're making a very risky commitment to say that person will 100% be a top 3 player on this team for the next 5 years.
Yeah, and here's, I think, what a lot of, if you do want to extend them, this is what a lot of people are getting at. Soon, $30 million a year will be NBA bench players. Yes and no.
Not tomorrow.
Not by the time, not during the stretch that Zack Lavine would still be on this team. Because right now, that's still I guess you can make the argument, well, what did Jabari get? Jabari Smith Jr. is going to be coming off the bench.
He's getting 25 a year.
Okay. So it's a good argument. It's a good argument, 916. Again, you're talking about the aprons, you're talking about luxury. This is stuff that the luxury tax, even the Kings also aren't trying to touch that.
But the difference in that is also the Rockets have a now starting 2 who is an all-NBA defender making $9 million, right? They can afford to pay Jabari Smith $24 million when Amen Thompson is 2 years away from making a max contract.
And that is, to be fair, yes, I think that's a good thing to point out, because the Kings have essentially a fully paid out roster, right? Meaning, besides Keegan, but
next year he'll be on a new deal.
So everybody in their starting lineup is getting their money. They're not being frugal anywhere, or they're not in front of things. We're talking about the Spurs. They're not paying nobody but De'Aaron Fox right now. The Rockets, hey, they're getting a little bit of relief because they're not paying Amen Thompson yet.
And also, if you look at that Şengün deal, it's a really good value for what Şengün is giving them.
So if you look at other teams that are in the Kings situation where they don't have a random Amen Thompson, or the Pistons, or whatever the case may be, those teams do not have a $30 million year guy yet, and I don't know that will be the case in even 2 years. Not yet. And again, I don't want Zack Lavine coming off the bench for $30 million. How about that? I just don't want that.
Yeah, and one way or another, he's going to have to be, let's even say, your 4th highest paid player.
Yeah.
That's just going to be the reality for the rest of his time in Sacramento. Whether he signs an extension or not, he's always going to be one of your 3 to 4 highest paid players. I mean, right now he's number 1, and everyone hates that he's number 1, but he's still a very good player, right? He still shoots threes at a best in the league rate and gives you 23 a night. And that skill set does have value. I mean, let's not pretend like he's just out there just trotting along. He just also plays bad defense.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not really, if you can get Zack Lavine down to 30, just because we understand how it is, and I know there are going to be some free agents, and maybe Scott Perry with his connections will be able to grab somebody in 2026, or more like 2027, because that's when Zack Lavine would come off the books. But I'll be honest with you. If you could get Zack Lavine down to 30 mil, and like we said, Domantas Sabonis probably is just going to kick it. Or maybe at that point you say, hey, it's up to you, Domantas, but DeMar DeRozan's gone. We have reworked Zack Lavine's deal to 30. He's got 30 over the next 3 years. The year is now 2027. Domantas, we will never force you to leave, but if you want to leave, that's on you. And it's just Zack Lavine making 30. And he gets his shots when he needs to get his shots. But now at 30 mil, you can focus on a Keegan Murray. You can focus on some of the younger guys and seeing what they can do, giving them more opportunities to score the basketball. So I'm not completely off that, but I'm not doing that deal at Zack Lavine for 3 more years at $40 million. I don't think that's necessary, but if you can get it to closer to 30, I'd be interested in that. When we return, speaking of Keegan Murray, like I said, I regret to inform everyone that I grinded Keegan Murray film a couple nights ago. And we might have one of them ones. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, but one thing's for sure. You need a PC you can rely on. Whether it's for school, gaming, or whatever your next chapter holds, Lenovo.com has the tech to help you succeed. Shop PCs right now at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale, where students can save more when they sign up for a Lenovo education account. Free shipping, easy returns, flexible financing. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Let's go.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metalwoods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Sponsored by the California Army National Guard and Hop Valley Brewing. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
People are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, from Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because they've seen for themselves the huge selection and the best prices at SacSuperstore.com. Good luck finding a lower price anywhere else. And if you do, they'll match it. It's as simple as that. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. Open until 10 o'clock and centrally located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And online at SacSuperstore.com. The guaranteed lowest price and the best selection of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeeps, and Rams. SacSuperstore.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Thanks again to Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. So the A's are in Washington, and they're playing a team that has a worse record than they do in the Washington Nationals. So they're starting a 3-game set out there in the nation's capital. Then they get the Orioles. So this is an opportunity for this is a good kind of stretch for the A's, playing some lesser competition here. They get the Nationals, the Orioles, the Rays, and then the Angels. And
no playoff team.
And the Twins, who, everybody is upset. We haven't talked about it, but the Twins kind of pulled an A's and moved on from a bunch of players, including Carlos Correa, the best Giant that never was. And there are a lot of teams out there and a lot of fans. I saw this, and this was specifically somebody covers the Pirates. It was, nowadays things are blurry, but covers the Pirates, also a Pirates fan. And he literally said, I can't wait for this lockout. I can't wait for this lockout.
Just let it be over.
Just let it be over so that the team that I love has to attempt to compete.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that's headed, but the Twins, a lot of Twins fans were just thinking, what's going on?
That Twins story was crazy. Like, I don't know if you had read some of the details. They're like $400 million in debt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the owner just took on a bunch of debt during the pandemic, tried to keep competing, and then just got to a point where it's like, well, we're not in the playoffs. We're just going to gut the entire team, including, I think one of the players they traded was like a St. Paul native who was in his third year and like wanted to be there forever. And they just were like, nope. 10 players, goodbye, all of you out of here. We would have traded Buxton if we could, but he has a no trade clause, and now Buxton is just going to be stuck there with nobody.
So we have and Kyle, I'll let you kind of take the reins here because it's a very nerdy stat. The rim DFGA.
DFGA is just defensive field goal average.
Play the nerd sound, Kyle.
Yeah, I know.
Nerds. So
I love your like, hey, this is dorky. Hey, Kyle, you got this.
Kyle, you got this. So there's a bunch of elite defenders on this list, and it's the better rim defense versus more rim attempts defended, and you have Keegan Murray, who kind of is sitting there with the rest of the group, but also Domantas Sabonis making an appearance on this kind of spray chart too.
Yeah, so it's mostly bigs, but it's just essentially saying the players who are the best at blocking shots against the people who block shots the most, right? So, for example, Alex Sarr blocked a lot of shots. I think he had like 590 block attempts. Like defending against the rim. It's not block attempts. It's just defending against the rim. Dudes were just cooking on Alex Sarr.
Right.
But he was playing center a lot, so he was in a position to block shots a lot. Same thing with like Brook Lopez. Jokic is actually kind of the worst by volume, which is surprising, but also not because Jokic doesn't block shots because he doesn't jump.
Yeah.
But on the opposite end, there are a bunch of guys who were not as active, didn't have as many attempts.
Mm-hmm.
And Keegan Murray is a really high person. He's the highest ranked forward in the NBA, but he also had barely any attempts where he was like essentially the rim protector.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, which is a good sign. So like, for example, the guys at the very top are like Wemby, Jaren Jackson Jr., Gafford. Those guys had the best percentage, but barely any attempts. But theirs is different because people just weren't shooting the ball. Like they just got into the paint on Gafford, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Wemby, and they were like, no, thank you, pass out kind of situation. So I don't know if that was the case for Keegan, but I'm trying to pull it up so people on the YouTube can see, but it makes it appear as if Keegan Murray either wasn't put in enough positions to defend the rim because he's excellent, or when he was defending the rim, people were like, I'm not about to go up against Keegan Murray.
Right. It reminds me of assists from outfielders. People would always say, oh, this person has a lot of assists as an outfielder. This must mean that he has a better arm than this other outfielder that doesn't have as many assists. But assists almost mean that people think that they can run on you, right? And if you have more assists, a lot of times that means that, hey, you're going to learn today, but certain guys that have absolute cannons, they don't have as many assists because the scouting report says we should not run on that guy. So instead of taking that extra base, whether it's to third, whether it's to home plate, whatever it is, the runners don't go. So somebody with a weaker arm, a lot of times will have more assists than somebody with a stronger arm because they're being tested more. But either way, for Keegan to even be on this list is a cool note. I just keep thinking as we're discussing Zack Lavine, if you can get him down to 30 mil, somebody on the chat said there's no way you're getting Zack Lavine down to 30 mil. Well, probably not. I think it's less about what happens with Zack Lavine and more about these next couple of years with DeMar DeRozan, because I'm going to keep saying it. We got to see what's the deal with Keegan Murray. We got to see if you remove DeMar DeRozan, and this is never, obviously, never anything personal, right? DeMar DeRozan, the dude can score. I'm just more so thinking about the future of this squad, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of fans that are sick and tired of the idea that Keegan is being put on a pedestal. They feel as if Keegan should have already taken the reins. They feel like Keegan doesn't have that dog in him. They feel like Keegan has spent too much time with Harrison Barnes. And they're kind of worried that Keegan is going to be a little too similar to Harrison Barnes. Or was already headed in that direction. It's just really hard having DeMar DeRozan on this roster. If you remove DeMar, because I don't even think it's Zack Lavine, because I don't think Zack Lavine needs the ball in his hands all day long. If you were to remove DeMar DeRozan, that's the one thing where we were talking about how much the Kings even tried to move DeMar this offseason and how much Scott Perry does like DeMar on the team. I would love to just be a fly on the wall to at least wonder, and I get it, you're there to win, and I'm not saying to usher anybody along and, hey, I'm not going to take these shots because I'm an old geezer here. Keegan, you take them. There's got to be a little bit of dog. But I just do wonder, is there any type of conversation to where it's, hey, DeMar, we're going to start, obviously we're going to start you. We don't even necessarily want to move you like that until it's time and until we can get something back. But let's always try to, can we start the process of trying to just maybe get Keegan where we feel like he can be, right? And I'm not saying to take less shots. Technically, I'm not saying that, but our goal coming out of this season, we look, what are your goals to the Sacramento Kings? What are your goals to coming out of 2025, 2026? The number one goal should be to have a much clearer understanding of who Keegan Murray is going to be in this league, period. I could say specifically offensively, but I'll just say period. That should be I think that's the number one goal, besides getting the t-shirts, right? And playoff revenue.
Play-in revenue. Play-in t-shirts.
Feel the roar. Feel the XXL roar t-shirts. It should be figuring out what you have with Keegan Murray. That's the number one priority to me.
If that's your priority, you kind of have to extend him based on your best projection, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you're taking this thing all the way to restricted free agency, which is never, I shouldn't say never. Most of the time doesn't work out well for the team when they drag out the quality player to restricted free agency.
You can extend him. Yeah. There's no question. I'm saying I want them to extend him. That's still, we could extend him and then still find out, okay, are we going to like this contract? Because that's just how it is. They're stuck.
Yeah, I think the idea just, though, is you kind of have to have a vision before you get into the season of what you would like Keegan to have his role be and what that's actually going to look like in practice, right? Because you're constructing this roster with him essentially being the longest term commitment, right? If you give him the 5-year deal that Jabari Smith just got, he is your longest term commitment for better or for worse. I would say for the better, because he's 25 years old and a former top 4 pick in the draft. Of course, you should want that player to just stay on the team, but you have to make that commitment. And so therefore you should have at least a vision of what you want that to look like. Otherwise, you're just making a 6-year commitment and saying, we'll figure it out.
On the other side, hey, Kings, look, a new model just dropped. Remember when the Kings were supposed to be the Nuggets and then they were supposed to be the Pacers? We got a new model for the Sacramento Kings, and it is quite ironic. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in the parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Summer's here. Get ready for backyard barbecues, trips to the pool, and COVID-19.
That's right. COVID isn't taking this summer off and can actually spread year-round. I'm Dr. Simone Wiles, and as an infectious disease expert, I know my patients are often surprised by this fact. They don't expect COVID to strike in the summer and derail their plans, but guess what? It can. COVID can be unpredictable and quickly turn serious, especially for those who are 50 plus or have certain underlying medical conditions. The good news is that if you start feeling sick or test positive, you don't need to wait it out. Prescription medications exist to treat COVID for certain people. If you catch COVID this summer, don't delay. Ask your doctor if prescription medication is right for you. Learn more at Pfizerforall.com/COVID-19.
This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Saturday, August 9th, it's the Night of Champions at Stockton 99 Speedway. Meet past champions during the exclusive autograph session. Then buckle up for Pro League models, mini stocks, and more. Tickets start at just $20. Get yours now at Stockton99.com. Be there.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. It's time to offer up that keyword again. We're giving you the chance to live the sweet life with Allen Stiles this week with the River Cats Ultimate Giveaway. The game is on August 20th. Each suite includes 20 tickets, dedicated suite attendant, cable television, and climate control, indoor and outdoor seating, panoramic view of the game, and access to the Sky River Casino Solon Club. Listen for the keyword of the day and text it in to 916-339-1140 for your chance to win. Today's keyword of the day is sweet. Sweet. S-U-I-T-E. Not like the dessert. Yeah, no. Sweet.
Yeah, that's what you're saying in that.
God, did you miss? Are you too young for Sweet Life of Zach and Cody?
It was on when I was a kid, but I didn't watch that show. I mean, like, I've seen episodes of it, but I was not like there every day.
There you go. All right. Well, the Sweet Life of Allen Stiles, it's August 20th. Text in sweet to hang out with me and 20 of your closest friends. 20 of them. Okay. That's a whole team. That is a whole team. You can bring your whole softball team, your whole volleyball team, whatever it is. Your
rec league basketball.
Yeah, your pickup basketball friends, your pickleball team, and your obviously your family, friends. So your chance to win, and the keyword of the day is sweet.
You bring your whole pickleball league.
You can bring the whole league. Also, annual backpack and school supply drive at the Elk Grove Walmart, August 7th, 2025 on a Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come support the youth in Sacramento by donating school supplies to those in need. They are most in need of highlighters, Post-its, whiteout, mechanical pencils and pens, composition notebooks that are college ruled, binders, folders, pencil pouches, glue sticks, and colored pencils. Any and all donations are very much appreciated. Thank you so much for participating.
Specifically college ruled.
Yes.
We don't want none of that wide ruled BS.
No, none of that wide ruled. I'm not going to go on a tangent this time and talk about pencils and shorthand and cursive. I promise you that. What we are going to break down, though, is a new model that just dropped. And I'm so sick of this. I am. We're going to do it, but I'm so sick of it. It was the Nuggets. Then it was the Pacers. Then it was, let's not forget, then it was the Thunder. And it was the Rockets and all these different models that the Kings could follow. Here's the tank model. Here's the poor man's Jokic model. Here's the retool model. I don't even know what to call this model, Kyle. And the funniest part about it is that this model includes somebody that was on the Sacramento Kings. It is time to kick off the newest NBA model for the Kings to attempt to follow and probably not be able to do it. Let's have a conversation about the San Antonio Spurs model.
Yeah, let's do it. The Kings should follow the Spurs model.
First things first, draft an alien.
Well,
draft a 7-8 alien.
You know, that's best case scenario, but during their rebuild, this is the thing I say, when you go to the bottom, you have to get two things. You have to get a generational superstar, usually with the first pick in the draft, and a collection of young players that will all grow together, right? This is your Pistons, Cade Cunningham, but you also need Jaden Ivey and Ron Holland and the Thompson twin and everything else.
I'm listening. Oh, yeah, the Pistons, they were a model.
Yep, exactly.
All right, because I'm listening, Kyle, because I don't see.
Oh, you want me to?
I don't see how they're gonna get. I don't see how they're gonna get here. All right, look, fine. You wrote it up. I'll read it out. But I am not a believer in their ability to do this.
First of all, let me just take you back in time, okay?
Oh, great.
We're gonna go back to the summer of 2021. It's a great time in the world.
No,
right?
it was.
The summer of 21.
We was outside. We was back outside.
We were outside for the first time in a year and 3 months. Summer of 2021. Now, the San Antonio Spurs, after trading Kawhi Leonard for, their own De'Aaron Fox for Zack Lavine trade, i.e. Kawhi Leonard for DeMar DeRozan.
Yep.
The San Antonio Spurs were coming off of back-to-back losses in the play-in tournament. They had one All-Star on their team, DeJounte Murray. Sound familiar to any team that we know of?
Yep.
Back-to-back play-in losses, one All-Star, not, mingling around the 10-11 seed. And so San Antonio finally decided to bite the bullet and go to the bottom of the draft, despite the fact that they only had one tradable All-Star. So bear with me here. We're going to show you how the Spurs got back to relevancy, and maybe the Kings should do the same, since they're in literally the exact same scenario as the 2021 San Antonio Spurs. First, they traded Derek White. They got a first-round pick. Then they traded DeJounte Murray They got 3 first-round picks.
Crazy.
The Kings could probably get that for Sabonis. Crazy. Right? They then drafted Sohan with the 9th pick. What does our tankathon keep delivering us? Those 9th picks in the draft. They signed Keldon Johnson to a 4-year extension, just like Keegan Murray would be for the Kings. That's their Keldon Johnson. And then they tanked, basically, after that. They made one really good trade. They traded Jakob Poeltl to the Raptors for a 9th pick in the draft. They signed Devin Vassell to an extension. They got lucky and got Wemby. They got lucky again and got Stephon Castle. They got lucky again and got Dylan Harper. They traded that Jakob Poeltl pick to Minnesota so they could get Rob Dillingham. And then they traded that future pick to land De'Aaron Fox. So if you do everything right, you can take advantage of a dumb team and get an all-NBA point guard to pair alongside your young superstar. So in 4 years, if the Kings play their hand right, this is not an unrealistic model other than just them getting lucky and getting Wemby.
Right.
Other than that,
other than Wemby,
everything here is reasonable. They did a reasonable teardown with not a lot to work with and also got Wemby. So the Kings, if they were to do this, it would all be hinging on getting their version of Wemby or Cade Cunningham or Zion, pick whoever you want.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So the problem is, I think the biggest problem with this attempt, and I know I've been obsessing over the different draft breakdowns and how 2026 is supposed to be really good. 2027 is not supposed to be good at all. I think the problem is, at this point, if you are the Spurs going into this season that the Kings are going into, if I'm not mistaken, this is when they started saying uncle. So the Kings are still not saying uncle. They could by the time the trade deadline comes around, but as of right now, they have not done that.
Sort of. I mean, so here, I'll give you the example. So in the 2022 season, which would be the equivalent of the 2026 for the Kings, they traded Derek White at the deadline, held DeJounte Murray till the end of the season, and then in June traded him. So like June 2022 would be the same as June 2026. So like they held Murray throughout the season, even though they weren't competing for anything and were just trying to tank. But they did trade Derek White at the deadline. So maybe the equivalent of that is trading DeMar DeRozan at the deadline or trading, I don't know, Kiana. I don't know who it would be the equivalent. But essentially, they started the teardown at the deadline and then finished it in the summer. And, they weren't bad enough to get to the bottom of the draft, but they got a decent young player in Jeremy Sohan.
Yeah, I mean, we could call him a miss if you want, but that brother is only 22, 23. Maybe?
Younger than Kuminga.
Yeah. Because I remember from when this whole thing started popping as far as the different, trade packages, he's 22. Jeremy Sohan is. Now, I don't know if he's going to be good or not, but he's 6'8" and 22 and can play a bunch of different positions. So,
but if that's the worst pick of the rebuild, then you're fine.
But that's why the Spurs are cooking. I know there are probably a bunch of Kings fans out there right now listening, saying there's no way the Kings could pull something like this off, and that's a fair assessment to believe that they couldn't.
But what exactly did they pull off? They just got Wemby, but other than that, we're talking about signing Keldon to a reasonable extension.
The Kings fan is just going to say, we don't need to explain it, Kyle.
Yeah, I get it.
They just won't.
Yeah.
But if you take that away, and you're correct, right? And again, you're not saying that's why this season is so important to me, because if you can get in the top 4 for this upcoming draft, that now kickstarts, and then you may go to Domantas Sabonis and say, I think you could sit there and say you move on from DeMar DeRozan either way, right? And then this next season, if you get 9 or 10, then sure. Right, you sit there and maybe it's another year of Domantas Sabonis. If you don't feel as if you're going to have somebody that's immediately ready to change everything, if you get a top 4 pick, I think you have that conversation with Domantas Sabonis. Say, hey, we've checked. It's the same thing with the Mavs. Now, the Mavs, look, Nico can pretend as if he knew this was going to happen, but once they got number one, it kind of changed. Hey, we don't have to blow this, we don't have to blow this whole thing up, whatever it is. We can keep rocking and rolling. We'll see how Cooper Flag looks as a rookie, but I think that this season is just so important, not as an actual season, but for the future of the Kings.
This is the pivot point. This is the where the future goes next will be based on what direction the season goes, because they could be in the playoffs, they could be the 13 seed.
That's it. Well, good stuff there, Kyle, cooking all that up. And hey, it could happen. It's just a matter of whether or not it will happen. Let's continue the discussion. Best case scenario for the Kings coming out of this 2-year plan and some of the free agents that they may be interested in when that time comes. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, Athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, by his standards, Lawrence Butler isn't having the kind of season he expected, but still, Lawrence is just 25, and he's only played the equivalent of 2.5 seasons in the minor leagues. And now he's on a pace to become the first athletic since Coco Crisp back in 2013 to go 20-20, 20 homers and 20 stolen bases.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge. Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Power, grit, and capability. You'll find it all at Kia of Vacaville today. Tackle the road or no road at all with Kia of Vacaville in the spacious 2025 Kia Telluride. Rugged, aggressive, and built for adventure. Or load up the crew and hit the trail in the versatile 2025 Kia Sorento. Need efficiency for the daily grind? Kia of Vacaville has you covered there too. Swing by next to the Vacaville outlets or check out inventory online at KiaVacaville.com. Limited inventory available, so hurry in now. See dealer for details.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A+ Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal. You should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. You're home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
I'm just reading this. Well, it might be a fair fact. I don't know where to go. This Jaden Daniels thing with his mama, just everywhere.
Oh, where he a little too close to his mama?
Yeah, just everywhere. And it's just everywhere. And I would say there are certain lines to mama's boys, right? I think growing up, I thought that I was a mama's boy until I met some real mama's boys.
Doesn't
real mama's boys.
Doesn't Noah Lyles kind of have some of this going on too?
I mean, this dude, he's taking his mom shopping, and this is all beautiful. But there was something else where she was at the practice. She was at practice, or something, and people are thinking, all right, this is enough. This is enough. Now, look, obviously, you don't want your, if your quarterback is, what would you rather have? Your quarterback getting into trouble? No, obviously not. He just likes hanging out with his mama. And there's nothing wrong with that. But some people are wondering, okay, still happening, huh? Still happening. So I just saw he takes her to Neiman Marcus, and they're on a shopping spree. So it just popped up on my feed, and we haven't really talked about it. We got some football coming up in the 1 o'clock hour.
And we might talk about Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. Now, football field, he's a bad man. But, and this is not me. These are other, like, former football players. It is kind of a polarizing topic because he's not really the idea of somebody saying, hey, you're hanging out with your mom too much. It's just a random situation.
Yeah, I guess it could be worse, right? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being nothing and 10 being Zach Wilson. This is probably what, like a 7 or an 8?
He liked mothers, just other mothers.
Yeah, thanks for saying it out loud. You could have just.
I'm just saying.
In terms of controversies involving your mother that are distractions,
right? But that one, everyone's saying no. He gained points, right?
It was still a controversy. It was still a distracting controversy. Like, you're not going to be able to tell me it wasn't.
It was BYU's. What's their mascot?
Cougars.
Yeah.
Why?
No, just. Funny.
Since we're just tiptoeing around it now.
Look, we'll talk about it in the 1 o'clock hour because I don't know. I'm probably a level out of 10. I'm probably, because I've met some real deal, like they talk to their mom every single day, right? And my mom probably wishes I did call every single day. I'm like a level 6 mama's boy. I thought I was higher than that. Then as I got older, I realized there's some real mama's boys out there because he's looking at a level 9. Then there was a whole thing with Juju where he was sitting next to Juju Watkins, the basketball player, and his mom. There might have been some editing there when the mom sat in between them. It's just he's just a level 10 mama's boy. That's what it is. Because here's the thing. Last thing until 1 o'clock hour.
Until we can talk about it again.
Here's the thing. A lot of people are putting it on her, right? To where it's, I'm not letting him do this. I'm not letting him do that. Anybody that is an adult knows that your parents don't let you do anything once you hit about, I don't know, definitely, what is he, 23, 24? So the idea that his mom is being overbearing, I don't know how much is on his mom for this. Jaden Daniels, if he didn't like it, he would tell his mom to kick rocks.
No, but the reason people are talking about it is that we've seen this story probably 100 times, which is at a certain point, mama and son are going to have issues.
Yes.
And, son is going to want to become his own man.
That's right.
And it's going to cause friction because parents who are overbearing and don't let their kids have a level of freedom when they're younger then get older and buck back against the parents who want to keep protect. We've seen this story.
But we're
over
past that, though.
I disagree.
That's like high school. That's like he's 24.
That's why. That's why it's concerning. Is because we know it's going to happen at some point. Remember Kevin Durant and his mom and how she was around all the time and
he's still single. I'm not saying that's connected, but he is still single.
But when he was on the Warriors, I don't know, this was in Ethan Strauss's book and stuff, but he didn't talk to his mom. His mom stopped showing up to the courtside seats. There was a 2.5-year period where Kevin Durant just wasn't talking to his mom.
I have here one of all these titles. I just Googled Jaden Daniels' mom. That's what I Googled. And this thing, Jaden Daniels does not care much about what people say. He is still a mama's boy. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not putting it on his mom. Right? If I let my mom hang out with me as much as Jaden Daniels lets his mom hang out, a lot of our moms would do it. So it's not on the mama. It's on Jaden Daniels. He likes having his mama around. Okay.
Right, but people are making it out to be mama's boy.
He is a mama's boy.
Right.
He is a mama's boy.
And I don't know how much people are concerned or making fun of him about it, but it's like you can't be a mama's boy forever.
No, you cannot.
Especially not when you're the soon-to-be $300 million quarterback.
Yeah, there are a lot of people saying this dude is wasting. I can't. If I was Jaden Daniels, you know what? Let's just we'll talk about it at 1 o'clock.
Let's not do that.
Because if I was, I won't do it. I won't do it. All right, let's get to the Kings' 2-year plan. We've heard a lot when we talked to Sean Cunningham a couple weeks ago. He referenced the Kings' 2-year plan. And that's basically when what we've discussed as well, not this offseason, but what was it? No, not even next offseason, the offseason after that, the 2027 offseason, where at that point, Zack Lavine would officially be off the books, right? So that's $48 million off the books. A couple other guys would be either 1 year left or off the books. So we've talked about the 2-year plan. And we want to break down the best case scenario for that 2-year plan, right? So 2027, I know we continue to talk about the draft portion of it and how this draft is supposed to look. This draft is supposed to make the 2020, what was that? This draft is supposed to make the 2024 draft look like the 2003 draft, okay? I don't know if it's going to be that bad, but it's supposed to be pretty dang bad. So that's one thing to keep in mind, and why I keep saying do not waste your time. And you guys, okay, you guys are on the text line. You guys are some sickos, okay?
Yeah,
you guys are some sickos.
Let's ignore those people.
You guys, you know what you're saying about Jaden Daniels' mama. Y'all some sickos. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
I already put someone in timeout on YouTube.
That's all I got to say about that. But 2027, how that draft looks right now, anything can change. But 2027, how that draft looks, something to keep an eye on. I also have a list, right? And the 2-year plan, I think, as we focus on priorities, is knowing what you have with Keegan Murray, putting him in a good situation, putting Keon in a good situation, putting Meek in a good situation, and Maxime Reynaud, right? In that order. Those are your young studs. Am I forgetting anybody? Those are the young studs that you need to essentially be focusing on, right? That's and you can put Devin Carter in there. They keep putting Devin Carter on the trade block. Yeah, so I'm not really including Devin
Carter. Let's put studs in air quotes. They are the young players.
Hopefully your future studs. All right. So throughout the next 2 years, you want to make sure that they are still progressing and growing. This is why Keegan Murray, with arguably the most potential out of that crew, you could argue Maxime, and maybe I'm not going to argue Nick just because he's a little older, but it's probably between Maxime and Keegan Murray, making sure they're in a good spot. That's on the court, right? Now, when things free up, okay, and at that point, Kyle, you have Domantas Sabonis. This is after 2027. So Domantas Sabonis would have 1 year left, which makes it it's an expiring contract. Kyle, stop reading those texts, which is an
it's nasty.
Which is an extremely movable, I wouldn't say extremely, but a much more movable contract because it would be expiring. So that's what happens in 2027 for him. All the other money that would be off the books. Now, obviously, you would have paid some guys, paid Keon, paid Keegan, but you no longer have DeMar DeRozan, and more importantly, Zack Lavine would be off the books. Here are some of the potential free agents. Okay, and I know people are going to laugh about who's available and who's not, and how all these people are going to say no. They're all going to say no, okay? Let's just throw some names out there and see if maybe any of them could be able to be convinced. Maybe they might be connected to Scott Perry in a way. So in 2027, these are 2027 free agents. Steph Curry, all right? His age, 39.3, I think, at that time, right? So Steph Curry would be just straight up unrestricted. Giannis would have a player option, okay? Anthony Davis, player option. Jimmy Butler, unrestricted. Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, player option. Paul George, no. Donovan Mitchell, if you want to pay him that type of money and he opts out of his player option. Because that's the thing. Some of these guys might be opting out because if they continue to ball out, there's more money out there. Even though the initial idea would be, well, why would Donovan Mitchell opt out of $53 million? Well, if somebody's going to pay him $60, then that's exactly why you would do it.
Let's not do 60. If he re-signs with the Cavs, he's in line for that Luka extension, that 5 years, $400. If Cleveland wants to offer it to him, he could absolutely get the $80 million a year.
Sure, but that wouldn't be with anybody else. Pretty much.
But that's why he would opt out of that 53 and then sign for 80 or whatever.
And we're getting a little lower in the salaries here, so maybe I think Karl Anthony Towns, you never know. I think Karl Anthony Towns will probably opt in, but you never know. And Jimmy, please no. Somebody's gonna say, Allen, we'll take Jimmy at 38 years old. He's gonna want $50 more million again. So have fun with that. Anthony Davis, I think. Look, 2 years from now, would you be interested in that? I think that these are conversations that the Kings wouldn't get laughed out of, right? I'm not bringing up Steph or Giannis or anybody like that, but I don't think they get laughed out of a Karl Anthony Towns. You're going to have to pay them, but I don't think they get laughed out of a Karl Anthony Towns conversation. You got a Kawhi. I don't think they, like you said, Kyle, right, with the extension. If they just stay with the Cavs, and that's fine, but Donovan Mitchell, right? Kawhi Leonard would be unrestricted at 36 years old. Zack Lavine, of course. Trae Young, if they don't extend him, Trae Young would be available. James Harden at 37 years old. Brandon Ingram has a player option that he could or could not pick up. Kyrie Irving, Rudy Gobert, Michael Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Drew Holiday. Any of these guys you think, Kyle? Julius Randle strikes me as a guy that the Kings would overpay. He's going to opt out of that $35 million, take 40 with the Kings.
You're specifically saying they are going to overpay these people in 2 years?
I think that there's probably that Sacramento tax that you're dealing with a little bit for some of these guys, and whether you or not you'd be willing to pay it.
I mean, I guess it depends what situation they're in, right? Because your precursor for talking about free agents is Sabonis, Keegan, Keon. Let's say Nick Clifford turns into a role player. Let's say Maxime Reynaud turns into a role player. You would then have a 2026 first, a 2027 first rounder. So you would have the remnants of a young core. You would still have Sabonis, and then you would say, hey, now we go point guard hunting. Now we go hunting for a starting power forward, like you said. Move Keegan to the 3. I guess if we're specifically using those precursors, then yes, I do think that is a good investment of money, because you're essentially using the money to lock down a position, right? When they got Harrison Barnes back in 2019, it was like, we have Fox, we have Bagley, we have Buddy Hield. Let's get a small forward and we can overpay that small forward in Harrison Barnes just because we already have the other holes filled. Hey, now that's kind of the situation that you would potentially be having them in come 2027.
Now we're getting a little bit lower here. Jeremy Grant still has that player option at 36 million. Well, he's taking that. He will be picking that up.
He will be picking that up, and the Blazers will be buying him out.
Honestly, yeah, Julius Randle, he might at $35.8 million. I don't know, unless it is the Kings just seem like a team that would do that. He might have to opt into it. I know, obviously, these guys are going to talk with their agents, but Jordan Poole, unrestricted. Tyler Hero, unrestricted. Isaiah Hartenstein, unrestricted. DeJounte Murray, unrestricted. Andrew Wiggins, RJ Barrett. There's a connection to Scott Perry. And you have Miles Bridges, DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan officially would come off the books if he ends up staying 2 more years.
Oh, you keep going. I see an Aaron Nesmith as an unrestricted free agent.
Aaron Nesmith. he might. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to do with that.
Let's not worry about that.
Yeah, come on. Hey, guys, we already talking about Julius Randle. Kyle Kuzma?
Can I interest you in 39-year-old Brooke Lopez?
No. Cam Johnson, Draymond. So now we're getting into the 20s and high teens, but who is the biggest name that is it? Karl Anthony Towns?
I think.
And going from New York, is Karl Anthony Towns the type of person? He was in a small market. Now he gets to New York. He's from out there. He ain't coming to Sacramento, right?
No, I think the biggest name that would hit free agency on this group is Kawhi Leonard. And by the way, I think there's a real chance Kawhi will either have to take a discount with the Clippers or get cashed out one last time at 36 years old. So I think the Clippers are kind of on a 2-year plan as well. So I think him, James Harden, all those guys, I think could be free agents in 2 years. But I think while Kawhi's the biggest name, I think the best player probably is Karl. Maybe Trae Young, depending on how Trae Young's next 2 seasons go.
Well, the other part of this, too, is these teams are in interesting positions where they either extend them or they're in a position where these contracts don't. It might be hard to trade they either extend them or they can't really trade the contract because it's hard to make money work. And that team that they would trade them for would then have to extend a Trae Young, or, that would be the idea because they just gave up whatever they gave up. So it's hard to tell how many of these guys are actually going to hit free agency.
No, and in the modern CBA, very few teams hit free agency because very few teams prioritize creating cap space, right? Most players, we talked about it a little bit earlier, in the post Kevin Durant CBA, they made it so that you'd have to give up like $90 million potentially on a contract to leave in free agency. So what guys do is they just sign the deal, give up that level of control, and then get traded to a team if they want to go. Think, Donovan Mitchell with the Cavaliers as an example.
Yeah.
In years past, he probably would have got hit free agency and signed somewhere else, and Utah was like, we're just going to move him now. But now you're right. Teams don't create cap space, but in this specific scenario, the Kings would be saying, we're specifically not going to extend our Lavines, DeRozans, expensive guys, and purposefully create cap space to sign somebody.
And therein lies the possible Kings tax that they might have to pay. They also might be one of the only teams that have that type of cap space. So things could work in their realm to where, okay, cool. Like we said, I'm not saying it would be Kawhi, but some of these guys, a Trae Young, might be available, and they don't have that many places to choose from. And because of that, they're interested in what the Kings can do and how that would work out. I think, again, if you see a leap from Keegan Murray, if you see certain things, we're looking at a world, and I'm trying to be, even if you hold on to Domantas Sabonis, right? We're looking at a world going into the last season of Domantas Sabonis' contract. So that would be the 2027, 2028 season. So can I interest you in one more season of Domantas Sabonis? You can make a decision at that point in time.
Or
right?
maybe he signs an extension.
So Domantas Sabonis, hopefully a better version of Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis. At that point, I think Malik would probably be somewhere else, right?
Yeah, Kuminga or no Kuminga.
Dennis Shruder probably gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So Domantas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis, Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud.
And 2 draft picks. Because you would have your 2026 first,
right?
Presumably in the lottery, or late first round, and your 2027 first round pick.
Then from there, you have money where, hey, you can decide to sign Zack Lavine to a more frugal deal. You can see if you think Trae Young makes sense at that point. He'd be 28 years old. You can see if Brandon Ingram makes sense to you. And you'd be essentially just missing maybe a piece here or there to be, I don't know, I would say a team that's making a little bit of noise. I still don't see a path. Look, unless you go out, maybe that 2026 ends up being the number one pick, then you make a different decision. But you're not getting there in 2 years, but it could be a path to just being in the fight and having a respectable team that you have good young talent, and it's just a continuous tweak to where now, all right, Domantas Sabonis is now gone. Now enter maybe Maxime Reynaud. I'm not saying he'll be as good as Domantas Sabonis, or you go get, your Julius Randle, whatever the case is, but you're always around, and it's just kind of a respectable situation. And hopefully you get hot one season. Maybe there's a season with injuries. And I know that might not be the sexiest conversation to have, but it could be along the way where you get a top 5 pick in 2026 and you get whatever you get, in the future drafts or in 2027. And then all of a sudden, hey, we're at least building towards something.
Right. Let's just say it's a late lottery pick too. Like, let's say they end up with the equivalent. I'm not saying it's these names, but let's say they end up with a Jeremy Sohan type player and a Noah Asenge with the Bulls, where it's we think Noah Asenge is going to be a really good player, but come free agency 2027, this person's going to be a rookie type of situation. Yeah. So you at least have young players that you can be like, hey, look, we got Sabonis, we got Keegan, who's going to be our starting 3. We've got Keon, who's going to be either a sixth man or a starting 2, depending on what they want to do, and quite frankly, how good Keon plays in 2 years.
Right.
You would have Nick Clifford off the bench. You would have Maxime Reynaud off the bench. You would have the equivalent of Jeremy Sohan coming off the bench. You would have Noah Asenge as a rookie, maybe has an impact. So, and again, I'm not saying those players specifically. I'm just saying a player like them. Then you would say we just need to fill a max contract 4 and a $25 million point guard, and we'll go from there and see how this thing goes. And maybe by then you'll have a 10 deep lineup. But again, all of that is contingent on how good is Domantas Sabonis if you're ever going to compete. I don't know if that gets you out of the play-in conversation without one of those draft picks hitting or Domantas Sabonis continuing to be an all-NBA center.
I think the reason I say that you're kind of just in the fight is because you are really, what this is if you're not going to fully rebuild, you're basically treading water until you somehow come across a true top 20 player. A true top 20 player. De'Aaron Fox, to me, was kind of fringy in that regard, 15, 20, sure. But a true top 20 player where you can know that that's where your future is headed. And it doesn't seem, it could still be Keegan Murray. I'm not saying it's not going to be, but right now you don't have that. So you're essentially trying to put your best foot forward and not fully tank until that happens. Now, will you be able to do that? I mean, they've essentially, the problem this season was you weren't able to do that, and then you had to sneak into the first round because you didn't have that pick. But the problem is the Kings have just not been able to move away from having nothing to show for it in the season and then outside of the season when it comes to draft. You've had 2 years, or you had the Devin Carter situation, and then right after that, you're able to get Nick Clifford, and we're really excited about him, but he's still the 26th pick in the draft, right? So if you're not going to have playoffs, then you need to be building towards something. And I think this season will start that process as long as they just do what they're supposed to do, right? Look, if you're not going to get to the playoffs, just do what you're supposed to do. Let's get that top 4, top 5 pick, and then at least you can say, all right, we have a real building block, whether you're high on Keegan Murray and what he's going to be able to do in the future or not. When we return, getting back to the present, Hoops Hype has a list of the top 25 point guards in the NBA for for next season. Where does Dennis Shruder fall? Allen Stiles, Tech-Town Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Fidium Fiber.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Staring at the sunshine, we'll feel the warmth building this afternoon. Highs will peak today in the upper 80s to lower 90s. That is normal for this time of year. We'll drop back to the upper 50s and low 60s overnight tonight. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's about time they
fixed that pothole.
Invented better windshield wipers.
made an internet that just works. Fidium Fiber Internet, starting at only $30 a month. It feels like Fidium. Offer available to residential customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See Fidium.com for details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Top 100 teacher and PGA Master Professional Kelly Stenzel offers some short game rules in Golf Magazine. 1. Stay still while putting. 2. Lean into chips with weight slightly forward during the shot. 3. For less distance, use a shorter swing and narrower stance. 4. Hit the ground to get true launch. Make a divot to get the ball in the air. 5. To hit a great bunker shot, dig your feet into the sand. 6. Swing length controls natural speed. Swing and stroke should be relatively equal back and through in size and rhythm. 7. Pivot for pitches so the club head glides underneath the ball, launching it high with spin. 8. Write it down. Calibrate your short game and put it on paper. Having some basic guidelines and a plan for your short game can make a huge difference without having to always rely on feel. Look for the full story at golf.com. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Sacramento River Cats baseball is where future San Francisco Giants are grown. Join us on Friday, August 22nd at Sutter Health Park for a special night celebrating the next generation of Giant stars. The first 2,500 fans through the gates score a free Giants Grown Here t-shirt, only available at this game. Don't miss your chance to rep Sacramento pride and see the Giant stars of tomorrow. Pick up your Giants Grown Here t-shirt on Friday, August 22nd. Get your tickets today at rivercats.com.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Mocash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Sponsored by the California Army National Guard and Hot Valley Brewing. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. We are 15 minutes away. The next opportunity for you to get that secret code for the Sweet Life with Allen Stiles, your opportunity to hang out with me and 20 19 of your closest friends. You get 20 tickets, dedicated suite attendant, cable television, climate control, indoor and outdoor seating, panoramic view of the game, and access to the Sky River Casino Solon Club. That is August 20th. We will give you the keyword of the day in about 15 minutes. And with that being said, I'll do whatever you need me to do, right? If you want me to give you a breakdown of the game, if you want me to give you play-by-play, I'll do that. If you want me to shut up, I'll do that too. All right, we're going to have some fun August 20th, and hopefully you are lucky enough to win those tickets. 20 tickets is a lot. It's a lot of tickets, man, and you get a suite. So great stuff. We will give you that keyword in 15 minutes. All right. Hoops Hype has a list of the top 25 point guards for next season in the NBA. And it's a pretty interesting list, right? It's funny going back to when the Kings did have De'Aaron Fox. This was something that we would be really invested in because you'd be kind of arguing, is he too high? Is he too low? Where does he fall on that list? But, I don't really have that connection, or I don't think anybody really has that connection per se to Dennis Shruder. And it's just a different situation, right? Hey, he's too high. He's too low. I just don't know if anybody feels the same way, but we're going to go through it anyway. And I think just more interested in how people feel about where he does fall. So let's start from the top. Number 1, they have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Number 2, Luka. Number 3, Jalen Brunson. Number 4, Cade Cunningham. Number 5, Steph Curry. Number 6, Trae Young.
That's interesting.
6, Trae Young. And the Kings were out on Trae Young early. Doesn't play the way we are trying to build our culture and our foundation. They were out. Hoops Hype has him at number 6, which might be too high. And number 7, Carmichael Dave's best friend, James Harden, who everybody out here was too good for James Harden. So number 6, Trae Young, too small, doesn't defend. Number 7, James Harden, all NBA, but who cares? He stinks. We don't like him. That's what Sacramento is telling me.
He's the biggest thing that's wrong with sports athletes nowadays.
That's right. And he wore a fat suit. Number 8, Ja Morant. I mean, the jokes write themselves on Ja Morant. That kind of went away. Number 9, De'Aaron Fox. Okay. Seems a little bit thin at the point guard position. Doesn't really matter. I'm just a bit surprised. Ja at 8. That feels too high, but also, I guess let's keep going. Ja Morant 8, De'Aaron Fox 9, Tyrese Maxey 10. That's way too low. That's way too low.
What are you talking about? Oh, I mentioned this list to Draper and Whitey yesterday, and I think they did a segment on it, but me and Draper were not agreeing on Tyrese Maxey. Just so overrated.
Haters.
All he does is put up buckets and his team loses.
Number 11, Derek White. I mean, come on. Derek White is in front of Darius Garland and Jamal Murray. Like, what are we doing? What are we actually doing?
I don't know, man. Derek White was really good.
This Derek White stuff has gotten out of control.
Oh, he was really good last year.
This is what I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Derek White, the second option, this upcoming season. I'm looking forward to seeing real Derek White.
You're saying he's going to be a second option on a play-in team?
I don't know if he's going to be second or third. I'm tired of this Derek White stuff.
The second option on a play-in team sounds a lot like Tyrese Maxey.
That's a little bit different. Derek White's still going to have a better roster than the 76ers.
Not the 76ers the year before.
No, he will. Darius Garland, 12. Jamal Murray, 13. LaMelo, 14. Josh Giddey, 15. Peyton Pritchard, 16. Like, really?
I mean, the Celtics believe Peyton Pritchard's a starter.
Peyton Pritchard, 16. Fred VanVleet no longer overpaid at 17.
Okay, that one's a little crazy. Fred VanVleet over Peyton or below Peyton Pritchard is kind of crazy.
I think Josh Giddey's too high.
It's also weird that they just didn't put Halliburton on here. I know he's hurt, but like,
yeah, I guess that bumps. They probably would, I don't know, have him probably 6.
Wait, what'd you say?
6.
Yeah, I'd say 6.
Yeah, so just bump everybody down 1. Jalen Suggs, who never plays, is 18. Kyrie, not even really a point guard, is 19.
I mean, but neither is Derek White.
No, but Derek White is 11th.
Yeah, I know. That's what's kind of funny.
That's insane. Andrew Nembhard is 20th. That's fine. He should be higher than Peyton Pritchard.
Andrew Nembhard should be higher than Peyton Pritchard.
Drew Holiday, 21. Stephon Castle, 22. Really?
Not a point guard.
Really? Emmanuel Quickly, 23. Wow. I mean, they're paying him a lot of money to be 23 point guard.
His problem is just the injuries. He's really good when he plays. He just has only played like 70 games in the last 2 years.
24th on this list, Dennis Shruder. And 25th, TJ McConnell. Here is the write-up for Dennis Shruder. I don't think Dennis Shruder has any nicknames. I was going to try to come up with one. Dennis Shruder put up impressive numbers, over 18 points and 6 assists per game for a bad Brooklyn Nets team last season, leading to the Golden State Warriors and Detroit Pistons, 2 playoff-level teams, acquiring him. Naturally, Schroeder's numbers took a dip once he joined those 2 stronger teams, but even so, the German floor general acquitted himself nicely in Detroit, making the team 2.8 points per 100 possessions better during his time on the floor, despite not having much time to acclimate. Now, set to join the Sacramento Kings, we expect more solid play out of Schroeder, a point guard who can score from all 3 levels, albeit sometimes not all that efficiently, and who can create as well as rack up steals on the other end.
According to Basketball Reference, his nickname is the Menace. Okay. Dennis the Menace.
Oh, okay. Let's go through these numbers here just for funsies. TJ McConnell's making $10.2 million. He's the 25th ranked according to Hoops Hype. Dennis Schroeder is at 14.1 going into next season. Emmanuel Quickly at 32.5. Goodness gracious. Stephon Castle, rookie deal. Drew Holiday, 32.4. Goodness gracious. Andrew Nembhard, 18. Kyrie Irving, 36.
He's not even going to play.
Jalen Suggs, 35. Fred VanVleet, 25. Should have been 40. He got out of it.
45 last year.
Peyton Pritchard, 7.2. Josh Giddey, he doesn't really have one. LaMelo, 37.9. Jamal Murray, 46.3. Darius Garland, 39.4. Derek White, 28.1.
Oh, that's a steal.
Tyrese Maxey, worth every penny, 37.9. So is it weird that, and then you have De'Aaron, who just entered a new stratosphere here.
52.
Yeah. Is it weird that I actually kind of feel better about Dennis Schroeder after reading off these salaries for point guards? If you look at all the guys that are better and are getting paid, how many guys are better and getting paid similarly to him? It's not a lot.
I mean, it's Nembhard. It's
wasn't available.
Well, yeah, because their contracts are so good. That's why they weren't available.
Sure, but I'm just saying.
It's TJ McConnell, who almost won Finals MVP.
Yeah, not available.
Yeah,
this honestly makes me feel better.
It makes me feel like they probably shouldn't have traded for Drew Holiday in hindsight. But they should not have. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a good decision to not trade for Drew Holiday.
Yeah. And I didn't want him to trade for Drew Holiday.
It just makes me feel like we're not even in the game, right? If we're talking about LaMelo at 37, Garland at 42, you know, and these guys are, it makes me feel like we're not even, because like after what, VanVleet, it's like, and I guess Kyrie's weird because he's hurt, but like after VanVleet, it's like, I don't really feel like any of those players I'm missing out on. And maybe Suggs will turn into something, but it just makes me feel like they're not even in the point guard game at this point.
No, that's a good point. But if you look past, I think to your point, it's also about what else you have, right? If you look past honestly, you could look past 10, right? If you look past 10, Derek White, super team. Darius Garland, really, really good team. Jamal Murray, Jokic. LaMelo Ball sucks. Josh Giddey sucks.
LaMelo Ball sucks.
No, he doesn't, but the team sucks. I mean, the team sucks. Josh Giddey, the team is the Sacramento Kings East. I don't know how we're doing that at that point. Peyton Pritchard, really good team. Fred VanVleet, really good team. Jalen Suggs, really good team and never plays. He's with Haley Van Lith. Kyrie, I don't know. Confusing situation.
Was in the finals in 2024.
Andrew Nembhard, really good team. Drew Holiday, terrible contract. Stephon Castle, rookie. Emmanuel Quickley can't stay healthy. Dennis Schroeder, he's there. He does play the point guard position. So I think a lot of it is all the guys after you pass 10, stop me if you've heard this before, are just kind of in better positions than Dennis Schroeder. So if you're going to not prioritize the point guard position, your other positions need to make up for it. And right now, the Kings are paying as if they're making up for it, but they're not actually making up for it. That's the biggest difference. That's really the only difference from number 11 to number 25. It's Dennis Schroeder. We look at Dennis Schroeder differently. People are upset that the Kings acquired Dennis Schroeder when, again, if you're looking around the league, what else they could have acquired. The issue isn't Dennis Schroeder. The issue is everything around Dennis Schroeder, and the ceiling is the floor, whatever Michael Jordan said. When we return, we will give away that keyword of the day. Also, getting into a little bit of Giants baseball. Are the Giants cursed? And I'll tell you what I mean by that when we return. Now, Sack on Sports.
The Drive Guys.
From the 925, Braun has not lived up to his end of the bargain. Fake bubble ring is a joke? Is that Daryl Morey's burner? Would you want LeBron to join Sabonis to finish his career where he started? Kings fans, would they want LeBron right now? Right now.
You can listen to The Drive Guys Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1140 a.m., YouTube, and the Sacktown Sports app.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, but one thing's for sure. You need a PC you can rely on. Whether it's for school, gaming, or whatever your next chapter holds, Lenovo.com has the tech to help you succeed. Shop PCs right now at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale, where students can save more when they sign up for a Lenovo education account. Free shipping, easy returns, flexible financing. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the Luxe Staples Insider Swear By, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/style upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/style upgrade.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the biggest selection, the best prices, and unbeatable customer service. Check them out online, sacsuperstore.com, for the guaranteed lowest price on Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Open until 10 o'clock and right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. sacsuperstore.com.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
We had a big team meeting, and Kyle and I were popping down during the breaks. Now it's time to grab some food, but the crew is here. It's the first time I've seen Frankie Cardicelli in about 3 weeks. Okay. Yeah, no, he doesn't. He's never here, but
I hope there's not pizza today, because otherwise it's going to be all gone if Frankie's here.
the guys, they did a great job presenting. I caught some of it. Great job from Frankie and Chris Watkins and Carmichael. The whole crew is here now, so I don't know who might pop in to the studio. You truly never know what could happen.
This is always so funny, because every time there's a meeting of some kind, we have to be on the air. So literally we're like the only two people in the building, because like FMs, they can take like 30-minute breaks. It's music. Our breaks are like 3-4 minutes long. So every time there's a meeting, we're not there.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody could tell the last couple segments, I've been slightly out of breath from going up and down the stairs and then coming up here to do the show. But the meeting is over now. Great job, everyone. I was dapping everyone up as if I was there when I actually was not.
Well, no, this is what happened is we were walking downstairs as it was ending, and everyone was walking out, and we were like, well, this is awkward.
Yeah, I'll just play it off in that way. We had somebody, as we're about to give out the keyword of the day for the Sweet Life with Allen Stiles. 209 is asking, if I win that Sweet Life contest, can I bring my own beverages? No. You know that, 209. You know that. But sometimes you do have to officially tell people.
Now.
Right? Now you know.
Now you know you can't. Well, I will say this. I'm not going to encourage anyone to try and sneak their own drinks into Sutter Health Park. I'm just saying, if you can get it past security.
No, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
No, if you wanted to do anything, it would be prior to arriving. You have, what is it?
Tailgate.
The tree house. There's the tree house that's not far. I'm still trying to, I think I had brunch there once, but there's the tree house next to Sutter Health Park. That's how you do it, Kyle. All right. Goodness gracious.
And you're not going to need to, because you and 20 of your friends are just going to be living the high life in the sweet life. What are we calling it?
Both. We're giving you the chance to live the sweet life with Allen Stiles this week with the ultimate giveaway of a Sacramento River Cats suite for August 20th. Each suite includes 20 tickets, a dedicated suite attendant, cable television, and climate control, indoor and outdoor seating, panoramic view of the game, and access to the Sky River Casino Solon Club. Listen for the keyword of the day and text it in at 916-339-1140 for your chance to win. Today's keyword of the day is sweet, SUITE. All right. The Sweet Life with Allen Stiles and 20 or 19 of your closest friends. Okay. So, and yeah, there will be beverages there. Okay. You do not bring your own, 209. You know that. Kyle, this is from Mark Spears. And you know how it is when Mark Spears drops something. Mark Spears, as we were talking about who may or may not be available in 2027, the Hawks have yet to offer Trae Young an extension. And the quote from Mark Spears is, he's disappointed that it hasn't come. He's what do they have him at? Hoops Hype had him at 6 on their list?
Sixth best point guard in the league.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird with the hybrids these days and who's a point guard, who's not. Now that let's ask the question like this. And somebody earlier texted in sweet and spelled it incorrectly. That will not count. Whoever you are, that will not count.
I see a 916 just tested suit.
That you have to spell it correctly, people. But
oh, that's another thing. Someone also tweeted in earlier, sweet.
Yeah, that will not count.
With 8 U's, doesn't count.
Does not count.
Has to be exactly SUITE.
A lot of people didn't want Trae Young. A lot of people didn't want Ja Morant, myself included. A lot of people didn't want certain point guards, right? Now that you know how this ended, and obviously, like I said, I don't know how much they actually tried to move DeMar DeRozan, but now that you know how this has kind of ended with Dennis Shruder and possibly Russell Westbrook, do you feel differently about Trae Young and about some of the guys maybe you didn't want on the team, right? I remember it wasn't that long ago, but in June, Zack Lavine, Trae Young, and Domantas Sabonis, how much does that scare people? And having that conversation, because DeMar would probably be gone in a lot of these deals just based on the money. But now that you're looking at Dennis Shruder and the rest of the normal crew, do you feel the same way? Now, for me, as the Kings exited the conversation for Trae Young pretty quickly, now that I know what the Kings are doing, do I wish that they maybe went in a direction and moved off of DeMar DeRozan to acquire Trae Young? So it would be Trae Young, Domantas Sabonis, and Zack Lavine. I'm actually going to say no. But that's me still hoping and dang near praying that this tankathon thing works and that 2026 ends well for the Kings.
Oh, we still got to run it for today.
We are going to run it. That's basically my argument. I would say I'm okay with this, and I sound like Kyle when we do Friday Fun and Games, and we did Would You Rather on Friday. I would say that I'm okay with the Kings doing what they did with the hope that it pays off for them, I guess, in the form of not improving. It pays off for them in the form of a good 2026 draft pick. I think that Trae Young maybe would have had them messing around in some 8 seed garbage. That's what I'm saying. I mean, and they would have another big contract because you would have extended him. They would have had money in between Domantas Sabonis, Zack Lavine, and Trae Young. I'd rather not add on to the books, see what happens with DeMar DeRozan, either make it to the playoffs and surprise us or stink and go get the good boozer.
You might have ended up in some 8th seed garbage with or without Trae Young, I guess is your point.
Yes, and at least the books are cleaner this way with DeMar DeRozan and the non-guaranteed.
As long as they don't do anything else stupid, the books will be clean after 2027.
That's right. So Trae Young, I feel the same way. Ja Morant, I feel the same way. Yeah. And obviously I got into it with Dave about James Harden. That was more of just a principle thing than actually wanting James Harden on the Kings. But yeah, it doesn't make me change my thought process because my thought process is that neither version of this team is doing anything. So I'll take the cheaper version with kind of a lower ceiling to just be done with it.
Well, it's not cheaper. It's the one with more flexibility in the future.
And it is a shorter. It's a shorter version of it. You'd be extending Trae Young and extending this.
There's a joke there about Short and Trae Young, but I can't make it.
We would no, and I refuse to make it. I'll tell you that much. 1 o'clock hour coming up next. We still have whether or not the Giants are cursed, and a little bit of NFL history tells us at least one of the 2024 QBs are going to be a bust. Is it going to be the mama's boy, or is it going to be the dude that is getting mad that he cannot finish accuracy drills? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Throwing things at or onto a field or court can seriously injure people, unless it's that hockey thing where you throw the teddy bears on the ring. So they all get collected and given to kids.
All of them? No bear left behind.
You can listen to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 1140 a.m. YouTube or the Sacktown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal. You should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get in on the action at Sky River Casino. With over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room, you'll enjoy a casino experience on a whole new level. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Summer's flying by, and that back-to-school checklist, it's growing fast. New backpack? Check. School supplies? Check. Dentist appointment? Let's fix that. Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics is making it easy to cross dental checkups off your summer list fast with priority scheduling for new patients and kid-friendly care that makes them smile. It's one less thing to worry about before fall. Call now or book online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, because healthy smiles should be the easiest thing to check off your summer list.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
For Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
One o'clock hour. One more with you, then we'll hand you over to the Drive guys.
I already saw Whitey. He was here for that meeting.
Whitey, he's always going to be here on time. He's not going to be late for something like this. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And we don't. Oh, go ahead, Kyle.
He might have. We weren't there to know for sure, but I think they were planning on him doing a wayback quiz for everyone, like to play a game during the meeting. I kind of want to ask him if that happened.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can ask him during crosstalk. That's coming up in about 40 minutes. And coming up on August 7th, on Thursday, the annual backpack and school supply drive. It's happening at Walmart in Elk Grove, 8465 Elk Grove Boulevard. August 7th on Thursday, between 9 and 2 p.m. Come support the youth in Sacramento by donating school supplies to those in need. Highlighters, Post-its, whiteout, mechanical pens and pencils, composition notebooks that are college ruled, binders, folders, pencil pouches, glue sticks, colored pencils. Any and all donations are very much appreciated. Thank you so much for participating. I'll tell you what, though, those JanSport, if I remember correctly, those JanSport backpacks, they're not cheap.
No.
And backpacks aren't on this list, but backpacks are not cheap.
Backpacks are not cheap. They're also the thing that, like, I used the same backpack for like 6 years. I think I only had like 3 backpacks my entire time of school.
But then it finally breaks, and then you realize, oh, this is expensive.
They are.
When it's time to get a new one. I think it passed, or I don't even think you were conceived yet, Kyle. But there was
inconceivable.
Yeah, there was a time. And all my millennials, I won't say all of them, there was a specific time, and I think it maybe made another stretch where the cool thing was to have kid backpacks. So I had a Hulk backpack. I had a Rugrats backpack. This was in like early high school or something like that, where it was just some corny thing that we would all do, where the cool thing was to have kid backpacks. Yeah, athletics baseball on the chat says, yeah, I had a Ninja Turtle backpack, a Spider-Man backpack, and a Batman backpack. That was it. That was just, don't ask me why, but that was the cool thing to do.
Ours wasn't Hollister. What was the one brand of backpack that everyone, anyways, it was a whole thing, and if you had one, it was cool. I remember that when I was a kid.
I don't think it was Hollister.
It wasn't.
Well, actually, I don't know. That's your time.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm. This is me getting old. I don't remember a lot from high school like I once did, but there was one brand. It also just made me realize, just looking in the corner, I still use the same backpack like that I used in college. Like I got that at 18 years old, and almost 7 years later, it's still going strong.
First Co on the chat says the hyphy movement wasn't corny. Was that hyphy movement? Those backpacks? I don't know that was part of the hyphy movement. We'll have to check on that. I don't remember that. Maybe it was a part of it, but I don't know. I didn't think that was. The backpacks weren't synonymous to hyphy movement to me. We were just wearing it. I had a Hulk backpack. It's probably still in my mother's house right now, but I'm gonna go find it.
Look, your oldest is getting ready to go to school in about, well, not this year, I guess next year, but bring it back out.
Yeah.
All that is old is new.
Somebody says, Div on the chat says, Kyle, are you thinking of Herschel?
Yes. Yes.
Those backpacks are expensive, man.
But that was the trend, was like you had to have one.
Now you had to have a job if you wanted one. So give us your backpacks for some odd reason. Give us your backpacks that you were wearing back in the day. And was that part of the hyphy movement or not? I do not recall that being part of the hyphy movement. Well, just like Kyle was not a part of the backpack trend, I don't think that these guys were either. Caleb, your segue strikes again.
Oh,
it was a reach.
1.5.
We had to get there somehow. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix, right? All drafted in 2024. History tells us that one of them is going to be a bust, right? And that is, I saw this on social media, so I wanted to bring it to the air. And they're basically asking, who are you betting on to be a bust? So JJ McCarthy hasn't played at all. I believe he's going to play on Saturday. And I was not that impressed by JJ McCarthy at Michigan. No. I really wasn't.
No, he wasn't that good.
So I don't know his PR machine. There are a couple Kings players that could use JJ McCarthy's PR. So you have Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. Let's remove JJ McCarthy since he hasn't played yet.
Yeah, because I was going to say that it's him. Next question.
That's the easy answer. Caleb Williams, a couple of you have seen, I'm sure a lot of you maybe have seen that clip of Caleb trying to throw into the different targets, and he misses about 4 or 5 straight, and he kind of throws a little fit and walks away. I actually read, and this is why you don't know, I don't know if this was satire, but somebody, quote unquote, reported that they were actually practicing hitting the lines. They weren't actually trying to make it into the targets. I think they were just full of it, but it was kind of a funny thing because some people did fall for it. So you have Caleb throwing a fit. Jaden Daniels is a mama's boy. Drake May is with the Patriots, and we're not really sure what he does well. And you got Michael Penix, who's left-handed, and Bo Nix. Who's better between Drake May and Bo Nix? It's Bo Nix, right?
Well, Bo Nix right now, but
they're kind of similar.
But Bo Nix is also 4 years older than Drake May.
That's not the argument.
Sure, yes, Bo Nix is better right now, but Drake May has A, no wide receivers, and B, is 4 years younger than Bo Nix.
Yeah, if I'm looking at this, I'm starting to worry about Caleb Williams a little bit. It just, I don't know, man. Life comes at you fast. We were joking about Interstellar and kind of the time frames and how they change. Caleb Williams, this next year is a huge year for him, especially if Jaden Daniels keeps playing well.
See, I disagree because A, he's young, and B, the Bears can always do what the Jaguars just did with Trevor Lawrence, which is like, hey, we know we're not going to do any better, so $50 million, here you go. Mm-hmm. You know, they might extend him even if they don't know if he's good. The one on here that I feel like this year is capital M make or capital B break is Michael Penix.
How?
Because A, he's 25 years old. And
why do these guys keep getting older?
Michael Penix was in college for a long time, but B, the Falcons are in a position right now where if Penix
does 25.
Yes, exactly. But also the Falcons are in a unique position right now where if they don't make it work this year, they will probably fire their general manager. Raheem Morris is probably on the hot seat just because any coach that misses the playoffs 2 years in a row is on the hot seat. Mm-hmm. They're in a unique position where it's like they might be able to just draft another quarterback. So if Penix doesn't make, kind of like Will Levis in a way, not, obviously they got the number 1 pick, but if the Falcons don't make it work this year, it'd be real easy for them to just be like, goodbye general manager who signed Kirk Cousins and drafted Michael Penix. Goodbye team that they just never made the playoffs. They kept winning 7 games every year with Arthur Smith and never got there. It would be very easy for them to just hit the reset button. If Michael Penix doesn't work this year, they could just move on from everyone.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I understand your thought process. Just seems like a quick trigger. And I also think that you're saying who's make or break. The question is who you think is going to be a bust. That's a different question.
Yeah, but if I'm going to pick someone to bust, I'm going to pick JJ McCarthy. But if we're taking him off the table, then Penix might be a second draft guy if he doesn't work in Atlanta. Does that make sense? Like, it's not.
Yes, but you're not answering the question.
Well, no, because I think the other 3 quarterbacks are going to be awesome.
There's 4 other quarterbacks.
Well, Bo Nix is Bo Nix. Bo Nix is the new Derek Carr, if that makes sense. He is as good as the team you put around him. Bo Nix is just new Derek Carr.
You got one more chance to answer this question, or I'm just going to answer it.
Who's going to bust?
Yeah.
I can't take JJ McCarthy.
No.
Then I'll take Michael Penix.
Wow. All that just to have the wrong answer.
Because it's Caleb?
I can't have it be Caleb.
So you're just going to pick Drake May by default?
It's Drake May.
That's so
It's Drake May.
Drake May is so...
It's cold out there. They fired 1 coach after 1 season. He's stuck in the Tom Brady curse. We've seen this before. It's Drake May.
Let's play.
He might be a second draft guy.
He's only 22 years old, though. Like, he's going to be given more of a leash. Like, they're not eager to move on from him. Do you know who their number 1 receiver was last year? Exactly. No, you're proving my point.
Hold on.
You want to guess who led the Patriots in receiving yards last year?
Ramondre Stevenson.
We're going to find out together, Alan, because it might be that Keyshawn Booty guy. Let me see.
Is it Booty?
If it is, that's funny because it's going to be a guy who was literally suspended for gambling.
No, but is it pronounced Booty?
I'm calling him Booty. Let's see. Number 1 receiver last year, receiving yards.
Okay.
Hunter Henry.
The tight end.
Yeah. Of wide receivers, it was Demario Douglas. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But that stuff matters.
But I'm just saying you have no idea what Drake May is, which I guess is a good reason to pick him to be a bust. Is that if you don't know what he is, there's a chance he could bust. But
it's either. I'll put it to you like this: it's either Drake May or Caleb Williams. It's one of the two.
So you're all the way in on Michael Penix.
I'm in on Michael Penix. He's left-handed, and I think they're in a good. I know we say it every season, but they're in a good division, and also, I mean, the team he's got weapons. If he stinks, he must really stink.
What we're also going to do now is find out together who the Patriots offensive coordinator is, because usually play caller does matter quite a bit. Let's see. It is, it's Josh McDaniels.
No, they didn't. Did they?
I think so. Yeah, Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator.
They hit the boomerang? I don't recall that.
Yeah, I didn't either. This is Patriots.com. Josh McDaniels rejoins Patriots staff in 2025 as offensive coordinator.
So,
oh boy, I changed my pick. He is cooked.
Told you.
I
tried to tell you.
I don't know. Josh McDaniels is weird because when he had Tom Brady, he was a great offensive coordinator. But Drake May, Josh McDaniels, and Stephon Diggs. This thing might be cooked.
Yeah, good. Oh yes, Stephon Diggs. Oh my goodness.
They've also got some rookies, but this thing might be some trouble for old Drake May.
Well, the Giants also find themselves in some trouble as they just continue to lose to the Pirates. Segue strikes again. I read yesterday the San Francisco Giants, I am curious what the New York Giants are going to do, but
why?
The San Francisco Giants, they have not, I believe I read that they are 0-4 against the Pirates, and they've never faced Paul Skeens.
That's unbelievable.
I don't know how that's possible. So this was some of the research that I did yesterday as to whether or not the Giants are cursed. Okay, they won in 2014 against the Kansas City Royals. We all enjoyed it. And since then, they've done absolutely nothing. Now, they have found some pitchers, right? The Logan Webbs of the world and guys like that. But from a position player standpoint, I don't know if it's the curse of Buster Posey, of Hunter Pence. I don't know. But if you are a Giants fan, whether you're a Giants fan or not, try to tell me since 2014 who is the best either drafted position player or position player that came via trade, but was young enough to come up through the system for the Giants since 2014. There was one guy I could think of, and he did not play on the Giants. He was traded for Mike Leake. His name is Adam Duvall. Adam Duvall ended up playing 11 years. He's a free agent now. He was an all-star back in 2016. He won a Gold Glove. He won the World Series with the Braves, and he got moved very early. He was drafted in the 11th round. All right? Here's another interesting tidbit. Listen to this, Kyle. According to Bleacher Report and the NIH, approximately 70% of major league players drafted in the first round will play at least 5 years, while 66% of first-round picks reach the major leagues. Many players don't stay for an extended period of time, and about 70% of those who do not make it to the majors will play at least 5 years, according to Bleacher Report. So basically, they're saying 66% of first-round picks make it to the major leagues. Many of them don't necessarily play for an extended period of time, but 70% of those who do not make it to the majors will play at least 5 years. So they're saying that, yeah, sure, a first-round pick is going to hang around, right? But 66% of first-round picks reach the major leagues, at least get there. 70%, and that could be a cup of coffee. 70% play at least 5 years total, which obviously, I mean, you'd have to be really, really bad to not play 5 years as a first-round pick. Thinking back to all...
I'm looking at the list. The Giants got a few of those.
Give me some, from 2014 to now, all of the first picks that the Giants have made. I'm just looking at the A's, man. All these teams since 2014, they've had a couple different dudes. The A's got 12 of them. And the Giants are holding open tryouts in right field.
The A's have traded more than the Giants have had.
Seriously.
So I have the list here, which, by the way, their best draft pick of the last decade is probably Logan Webb. He was 2014. So since Logan Webb...
But I'm saying position player.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying anyone. Steven Duggar in 2015, who had a moment.
Mm-hmm.
We have 26... Oh, this is an interesting one. What if I told you, I'm just looking him up real quick. What if I told you that in 2016, in the second round, the Giants drafted a 2-time All-Star in right field, led the league in triples one year, got MVP votes in 2021. What if I told you the Giants drafted Brian Reynolds?
Oh, yeah.
And then traded him for Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah.
Farhan Zaidi's first order of business was to trade Brian Reynolds, who he did not draft, for Andrew McCutchen, who was traded halfway through that season.
Because I think recently we talked about our possible reunion, and obviously it didn't end up working out. But I remember, Steven, that was the Teach Me How to Dougie. They were playing that. I'm looking here.
All right, so yeah, 2017, Elliot Ramos was their first round pick, which finally is kind of working out.
Yeah.
Sixth round pick was Bryce Johnson. Then Farhan takes over. 2018, Joey Bart.
That's the first killer.
Yep. Then we go to 2019. They took someone named Hunter Bishop in the first round.
He is on the Rivercast now.
Yeah, so that's 6 years ago, and he's kind of a tweener.
And I don't even think he's getting. Yeah,
he's never made it to the majors.
I don't think he's on the list of the right field tryouts.
No. He is the 10th pick in 2019. We have third round 2019 Grant McCrae.
Okay.
Second round pick, some guy named Logan Wyatt, who never played in the majors. We have fourth round pick Tyler Fitzgerald. We'll see.
Yeah. But give me more first round picks.
First round pick in 2020, Patrick Bailey.
Okay.
Fine, I guess. 2021 first round pick was a pitcher. They kind of took all pitchers in 2021. They didn't take an outfielder till the 10th round.
Mm-hmm.
2022 first round pick was someone named Reggie Crawford.
Okay, so that was my guy from UConn. He's big boy. They turned him. I think he's only a pitcher now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was really excited about him. I think he got Tommy John last year.
So other than that, it's all pitchers. I see Birdsong. I see Wisenhunt. So 2021 and 22, they just didn't draft any hitters. 2023 first round pick Bryce Eldridge. Second round pick Walker Martin.
All right. Well, these guys aren't going to be in the bigs yet, unless the A's they would be, but not for the Giants.
It's Joey Bart, your guy who's in AAA.
And then you just have the big prospects that aren't necessarily first round or whatever. Here's the issue. Bart, Luciano, Matos, and they ended up moving off of Kyle Harrison. For Devers, sure. Kyle Harrison, those three, Bart, Luciano, and Matos, those guys, and throw Ramos in there, they were supposed to save the future.
That was the other one. 2024 first rounder, James Tibbs, moved to Boston in the Rafael Devers trade.
They were supposed to save us. Bart didn't save us. Luciano, again, I don't know that we'll see him in right field or not during this tryout period. And can someone explain to me right now, in March, the Giants were ranked the 28th farm system. 28th. That's awful. Can somebody explain to me why Luis Matos is up in the majors the whole time Yaz is parading around right field, you trade Yaz and then move Luis Matos to AAA. Can somebody explain then to try out guys that have not been with the big league club? Can someone explain that to me like I'm 5?
I just think the future right fielder is not on this team. I don't know who it's going to be, but it's not anybody they're trying here.
Ridiculous.
Which kind of sucks, right? You just moved on from Yastrzemski finally. You moved on from Lamont Wade. You're about to move on from Wilmer Flores.
Hey, you get 5 games each. 5 games for Luciano, 5 games for Matos, 5 games for McRae, 5 games for Encarnacion. Somebody got to pop.
I feel like it's a futile effort, though, right? Because
I don't think so. I mean, if that's a futile effort, then why do the River Cats exist?
I mean, the River Cats exist so that the players like Elliot Ramos or Bryce Eldridge, where it's painfully obvious that they're going to be stars, or at least Major League Baseball players, can shine. I mean, Drew Gilbert is probably not ready yet, but like,
get him up here, man.
If Drew Gilbert were this like can't miss guy who's going to be the future right fielder, I don't think I don't think the Mets probably would have let him go for Rogers. I don't think they would have done that.
We got some action here, Kyle. Don't worry, do not even mess around. But the Boston Celtics are trading Georges Niang and 2 future second-round picks to the Utah Jazz for rookie R.J. Luis Jr. That sounds redundant, but R.J. Luis Jr. sources tell.
Yeah, what is the J in R.J. for?
Junior. R.J. Luis Jr. Sources tell ESPN.
Okay, Reggie Jason Luis.
Niang returns to Utah now, and his salary goes into the massive John Collins trade exception, along with 2 draft assets. The move allows the Celtics to have more salary relief below the second apron. I liked Niang. I'm telling you.
Wait, so they just got an undrafted? Oh, I guess it's just salary fill. So what? They just dumped salary to the Celtics
and to the Jazz.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Celtics dumped Niang's salary in 2 seconds. That's weird.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to get under that apron. More relief below the second apron.
Man, Danny Ainge, and I guess it's his son now, so it's all the Ainges. They're just fiending for those second-round picks, huh? Yeah. They just love seconds.
Yeah. So there you have it. That's the newest and truest with the NBA moves. And that's how you know somebody's probably just trolling Shams, just saying, craziest offseason, huh, brother? That what you had to say, Shams? That's what you had to say? The craziest offseason? I think there's going to be one more wave. And Shams was getting dragged yesterday by people in Milwaukee. They think that he's making something out of nothing with this Giannis thing. Okay, well then how about Giannis come out and just say, yeah, I don't know what Shams is talking about. Like, I'm coming back to Milwaukee, right? It's an easy solution. So just do it. If Shams is full of it, just go out and do it. It's very simple, right? On the other side, we have we'll see if Kyle would have to clean up the sound because it's from the 502 podcast. But Jeff Teague, as we start to close the show a little bit, Jeff Teague talks about European players not caring as much about winning, and you will not believe who he says he learned that from. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at eloquist.com or call 1-855-ELOQUIS.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Avery Anna. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Sponsored by the California Army National Guard and Hot Valley Brewing. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
There was always a crowd gathered around our dining table when I was growing up. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Everyone was welcome at my mother's table, so holidays, birthdays, and celebrations always included family and friends. I used to think I was the most popular kid in the neighborhood until I realized that my friends were really there for my mother's incredible cooking. Years later, when I bought my own dining table from Naturewood, I made sure it was large enough to make friends feel welcome. And right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings' Dine in Style sale, you have an opportunity to find the perfect dining room furniture to help you create your own treasured memories. Choose from casual to formal or anything in between. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings during the Dine in Style sale off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Nine 339-1140. Couple texts coming through when I asked the question, are the Giants cursed? And I think we might have the text of the day here. 530 says, I'm telling you, it's karma. The Giants had a hand in pushing the A's out of the Bay Area to get a bigger share. It's been in the works for a while, and ever since that, the A's got insane prospects just landing in their lap. You know I like the conspiracy theories, and that's more of just karma. But I like the tinfoil hat, 530. The only problem with that theory is that the Giants, their prospects were stinking before they got involved. But I guess you would say, well, no, they've been involved because, and Whitey can confirm with us, when they said no to the A's going to San Jose, I mean, this has been going on for a while, to the 530's point. It's not simply the vote that they were a part of when they voted voted in favor of the move to Vegas. So 530 might be on to something. So it's the curse of John Fisher in a very weird way.
In that it's rewarding John Fisher?
I guess. Right? The curse of, we got to think of a better name for it. But the Giants deciding to, monopolize the Bay Area and really Northern California by helping to get the A's up out of here. The curse of the casino curse. How about that? The casino curse.
The curse of I-80.
Yeah, the curse of I-80. Okay, and I think I'm in on that 5-3-0 because you got to think about it. 2014 to now, not one hitting prospect, not one guy that was able to be on this team for five years plus.
Yeah, no Brandon Crawfords.
Not one.
Not a Brandon Belt.
Since 2014. That's 10 years.
Yeah. And now look at the ramifications of it. They're paying a bunch of dudes $180 million to $300 million to make up for that fact.
Marco Luciano, to the 5-3-0's point, hey, he's going to be our savior. The more that the Giants were a part of it, the more Marco Luciano forgot how to field a ground ball. That's just how it happened. Now they threw him in right field, and we don't even know if we'll ever see Marco Luciano. We truly don't. I think I'm in on that 5-3-0. I didn't even think about that, but I'm definitely in on that. Oh no! Wow!
Oh, I see it.
Wow! No!
When it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sacktown Sports breaking news.
Well, in the wake of Georges Niang being moved to the Utah Jazz, free agent forward Chris Boucher has agreed to a 1-year, $3.3 million contract with the Boston Celtics. And Boucher lands a guaranteed deal with the Celtics and is expected to have a significant role in the front court. Boucher departs Toronto, where he has the all-time franchise record in points, rebounds, blocks, minutes, and games played off the bench. I was reading that. I was reading it thinking, well, okay, off the bench. He also was the Raptors' last remaining member of the 2019 NBA championship team. So he is bringing championship pedigree to Boston because they like banners out there in Boston. Wow. Never the right time to say goodbye, Chris Boucher. It's over.
Goodbye before it ever started.
It's over now. This is a sad day for me. So Chris Boucher heads to Boston, where he'll probably burn the Sacramento Kings at some point next season.
You want to make it feel a little bit worse for you too?
What?
Just if we're doing the Windhorst fingers, well, first of all, let's just
yeah.
If the Celtics could have done this at any point during the summer, why did they wait until August? Since they had Niang on the team the whole time, you could have signed Chris Boucher. Was Boucher waiting to see how the Kuminga situation got resolved to maybe join the Sacramento Kings front court?
This is an Allen level reach.
And then
you're learning from me.
But why? Why otherwise? What other offer was Boucher waiting to see what would come available? This trade could have happened a month ago, but Boucher got tired of waiting on the Kuminga situation, had a second offer on the table, unlike Russell Westbrook, and decided to take it. And now it'll be him and Luka Garza and Nimi Keita leading the Celtics front court.
This is obviously all speculation from Kyle. There were zero reports, unfortunately. Chris Boucher and the Sacramento Kings. Well, good luck, Chris. I wanted you out here. I guess we got Dario. $3.3 million. That's chump change.
I mean,
that's chump change.
Isaac Jones, $1.8 million.
Yeah. What's Dario getting?
5.5.
Oh, Chris Boucher off to enjoy some championship pedigree and bring that to the table. Okay, we told you we had sound from the 502 podcast, and this is interesting because it kind of lines up with what we were talking about at the beginning of the show as far as these guys making a ton of money and how that could affect how much they care about winning. This is specifically from the European point of view, well, via Jeff Teague. And just wait for the very end where he says, yeah, I learned this from so-and-so. So here it is.
Like European players, if they don't win, once they leave, they don't even live here. Nobody even cares. They just be like the greatest. Oh, he was nice.
And plus, they take all their money
and go home. Yeah. Like, they do not care about nothing. I learned that from Dennis Shruder. He literally did not saying he don't care about America, but he just be like, When I'm done playing here, I'll go play back home.
Ooh.
I'll just go back home.
I'll just go back home.
Dennis Shruder.
Now I'm just imagining Dennis Shruder at this point, and don't get me wrong, he played well with the Nets and then played fairly well with the Pistons. But don't get me wrong, he did play well. But I'm just imagining him waking up and saying, "You're going to give me what?" to the Sacramento. You're giving me what contract? His agent called him and he said, "Are you serious?" Oh,
I guess we're not moving to Germany yet.
Get me out there right now.
We're not going back to Germany quite yet. I think he's got kids too, so it's like
he definitely has kids.
Hey guys, guess what? Our vacation.
Yeah,
I know you guys like it over in insert European country here, but Sacramento's great this time of year.
Well, he's from Germany, not whether he would have played there or not, who knows? But I'm just that is maybe the one thing I'd like to know, and I don't know how much it matters. That's the one thing I'd at least like to know before it's all said and done. Isn't it kind of weird? We never really found out if the Kings were battling it out with anyone for Dennis Shruder. We never found that out.
No, it was already done before it happened.
Like there was no, and obviously he was with the Pistons, so there was no the Pistons and Suns were also in on Shruder. Just nothing. Just here is $45 million.
Yeah.
And please stay.
Here's a multi-year contract for more than what you made last year.
It's kind of weird.
Even though most people would say Dennis Shruder did not outperform his contract last season, here is
$3 million a year raise.
Yes.
Pretty much.
And
we're
also going to trade Jonas Valanciunas to acquire you.
Yes. And we have to accept or pick up Keon's option in order to acquire.
Yeah. Now that's the other thing. Yeah, we're not going to extend Keon Ellis.
Now we're going to take a chance on Keon in unrestricted free agency.
We're going to downgrade from Valanciunas to Dario Saric. We're not going to get Chris Boucher just because we wanted to give Dennis Shruder money that even he didn't expect, and apparently he would have been happy going back to Europe, according to Jeff Teague.
But for an amount of money like this, right? Isn't it kind of weird that Shams or nobody, the Kings outbid so-and-so?
It's not that much money in the grand scheme of like NBA salary cap type of stuff. Like this was a normal contract, a 2-year, $28 million guaranteed contract with a essentially team option for the third year. I think Dave reported a very small amount is guaranteed. So it's just a standard NBA contract. It's just in Sacramento, it matters a whole lot more.
Well, I think the bigger question is, and I guess at this point maybe we'll never know, but yeah, I just would like to know: was there any bidding war, or did they just bid against themselves? And I know it's just a couple mil here or there, easy for me to say, but that is, we'll never know. 209 says it's a fair contract for a good player. Put some respect on Shruder's name. I got respect for it. I just want to know, was there anybody else respecting his name, or was it just the Kings?
Apparently the Pistons weren't, because he went on that Instagram live and was
yeah, he did say they don't want me, or they're not waiting for me, or I'm not waiting for them.
Whatever it was. But yeah, he did an Instagram live that was like the Pistons weren't going to pay him that kind of money. So I don't know who else it was going to be.
And then we're just going to take it all back to Germany. Okay. Fair enough.
The Kings also got a second-round pick out of that whole ordeal. Mm-hmm. Now, it was to give the Pistons a trade exception, but they gave Dennis Shruder that money and got a second-round pick for it.
Yeah, so, Jeff Teague is saying that these European players, they're not really tripping. Not that they don't care about winning, but it's not going to, again, going back, and I would, Domantas Sabonis kind of in that category. I don't think you have to be European, though. I just think these guys are making so much money, they're just going to play until somebody stops paying them. I don't think we're going to see a bunch of forcing, and especially with the CBA and how teams can't be as aggressive as they want to be anyway. If we did our own version of Bovada, right? If we did our own version of Bovada,
where we're just making up odds.
Yes, Bovada odds on who could ask out of their situation next, right? And we read there was a Bleacher Report, and one of them was LeBron, and one of them was Domantas Sabonis. And I don't think either of those two things are going to happen. I can't remember who the other three were.
I think Giannis.
So that's the one. And we can include, because if we include Giannis, we'll both just say Giannis. But after Giannis, who do we think would be the next big name that's been paid in the middle of a big contract that would ask out? European or not European?
I don't know why European makes it more likely to happen or less.
Well, just based on what I think that's less likely based on what Jeff Teague is saying.
Who's a team that's kind of on the downturn? Like, would Tyler Hero or Bam do it in Miami?
You gonna leave Miami? You gonna leave South Beach, Miami? I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either. But I'm just trying to think. Well, who are the teams that are in the danger? Unless someone is just like, I hate this team so much and I just don't want to be here anymore.
It could be Devin Booker, but
no, he just signed an extension.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get your money and then you ask for it out, but I don't think anybody's going to pay him that type of money. I'm looking here. I'm looking at the good players. I guess there's always a random, because the bad players, the Middletons of the world, they'll just get bought out. You know, I just don't think this is going to happen.
No, it has
often.
to be a player better than Sabonis, I think, for this to work.
Yeah, I'm looking here.
Maybe Zion?
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed.
I
want to go to New York. Okay, brother. You can want what you want. I don't know about the Trae Young thing is something to monitor, but
well, it sounds like he wants a contract extension. This might be the Hawks.
He wants the money. I don't know that he wants to stay.
I just thought about one of the Cleveland people. I don't know which one it's going to be, but probably Darius Garland or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the Cleveland people is going to get mad about money. Jared Allen or something. One of those guys.
Whitey Gleason joins us on the other side. Someone's bringing up Jaylen Brown. I don't know. Again, it's a lot of money. Whitey is going to join us on the other side to close out the show. Let's see what Whitey has to say about everything that broke down today. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Do you know how America became the best country on God's green earth? We made things, from automobiles to airplanes to textiles. We were the manufacturing epicenter of the world, the innovators that every other country turned to. I'm Katie Lyon, co-founder of Allegiance Flag Supply, and I'm here to tell you that the American spirit is alive and well at Allegiance, where we make American flags 100% in America. When you fly your American flag from Allegiance Flag Supply, you're not just honoring our country. You're supporting American men and women who proudly make the highest quality American flags, period. True patriots who put care into every stitch. See our full story at showallegiance.com and learn about our 100% American-based supply chain. Fly your flag from showallegiance.com with pride, because every flag says manufacturing is still alive and well in the U.S., and we are still the greatest country. Save $35 on your American flag set when you go to showallegiance.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, by his standards, Lawrence Butler isn't having the kind of season he expected, but still, Lawrence is just 25, and he's only played the equivalent of 2.5 seasons in the minor leagues. And now he's on a pace to become the first athletic since Coco Crisp back in 2013 to go 20-20, 20 homers and 20 stolen bases.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge.
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Saturday, August 9th, it's the Night of Champions at Stockton 99 Speedway. Meet past champions during the exclusive autograph session. Then buckle up for Pro League models, mini stocks, and more. Tickets start at just $20. Get yours now at Stockton99.com. Be there.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Foo Fighters, huh, Alan?
Love them.
Yeah.
Love to fight the Foo. Love fighting the Foo, Whitey.
Do you know what a Foo Fighter is? You know, they got their name. It's from Foo Fighters are the 50s, maybe the 40s, the jet fighters who would engage UFOs, supposedly.
Oh.
UFO, the Foo Fighters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I try to pick music I think Whitey will like, and Foo Fighters is usually a winner.
Yeah, that sounds like a Whitey thing. And Kevin
Hunting
Love,
UFOs.
And Kevin Love wants to join a winner.
Yes. Bring him on board.
Senor Segue strikes again. Kevin Love reportedly wants to end up in Los Angeles. Word around the league surrounding Love is that he wants to end up in Los Angeles, sources said. There were some rumors that Love would want to go to New York, although there doesn't seem to be much interest brewing from the Knicks.
Why are you reading it like that?
It's a news report.
Oh, okay.
The Stein line.
All right, Alan, close your eyes and tell us. You can travel back through not only time, but through different dimensions. Okay. What does the dimension look like if the Warriors had traded Klay Thompson for Kevin Love? How different would NBA history look?
When was that again?
2014.
Yeah, before they won their first one.
It was the summer before they won the championship.
Remember, Kevin Love was putting up numbers.
I think they get one.
Minnesota, do you?
I think they get one. I don't know how that affects Kevin Durant and stuff, but
I was going to say,
get one.
In this universe, does that mean Kevin Love doesn't end up on the Cavs?
Right. I was going to say,
right. You have to consider that as well.
What's funny is they might get 2016. They might lose 2015 and get 2016.
Might. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you to tell us to go back.
I think they get one.
So would the Cavs have still traded Wiggins for something else? That's the thing that's tough.
Yeah, they would have. Somebody.
That's the key question.
Klay Thompson. So LeBron James, Klay Thompson, and Kyrie Irving.
The thing about Klay, as great a shooter as he was, some people forget, when they played the Cavaliers, he would guard Kyrie Irving. And that was not easy to do.
No. And we were talking about the top 25 point guards according to
we talked about that yesterday.
Hoops Hype. And
we had it before you, I guess.
I introduced you to it.
Because Kyle told us about it.
We had other things to get to.
Okay,
yesterday.
It also came out after the show.
Yeah.
That's why we had other things to get to yesterday. And the Dennis Shruder thing,
what'd you think of your boy Shruder 24th?
I never really felt bad about adding Dennis Shruder. We can go back and forth on the contract, but I don't know. I basically felt as if this isn't really on Dennis Shruder. It's just about the construction of the team. You get past number 10 and really the players that are in winning situations win. The players that aren't, don't, right?
Yeah.
There's not as much, this guy is going to help us win or not.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
You know, I think in a way it all speaks to where we are as Kings supporters. We've been looking so much at the roster, and Kuminga. And today, among other things, we're going to look at the Kings
and what they need to do better this year than last year to actually win games. We haven't really been thinking about it in those terms,
Right.
as we wait to find out where are they going, what direction. But we'll look at that a little bit today. In what areas do the Kings need to be better than last year in order to win more games?
Right, because each day that passes, this is probably the crew. And, going into the offseason, it was, okay, well, we're not going to spend, we were doing trade candidates, and we're not going to spend that much time on this team because we don't believe that this team is going to be together, or is going to be the same thing by the time the season ends. Let me just get your thoughts on this, and we're going to spend some more time on this yesterday. We've talked about it kind of in passing.
You say we're going to spend more time on this yesterday?
I did.
Okay, all right. I thought you did.
I did.
See, I told you can travel through time.
That's
in different
right.
Dimensions.
That's right. We're probably going to get to it tomorrow, but how much do you think, and obviously this isn't source, this is just your opinion, kind of feels like they didn't really shop DeMar DeRozan that hard, huh?
It's hard to tell. It doesn't feel like it.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Which is a bit surprising. I'm not trying to directly connect it to Keegan Murray, but I am kind of connecting it to Keegan about to get extended and the runway for Keegan, just for everyone, just more shots around for everyone. We don't know, what was said or what the thought process was, and we'll see what happens at the trade deadline. But that is something that I've been thinking about a good bit coming into this week is just, I don't know that they were in a rush, or they are in a rush to move off of DeMar DeRozan for whatever. I know the reason. He's a Hall of Famer. He can put the biscuit in the basket.
Appearances, there's, and the Kings have to be concerned with appearances because they've been so bad at that of the, the optics. So now you've got this Hall of Fame guy, and if you're going to say goodbye, you got to be really careful about how you do it.
Yeah, but the funny part is every time Scott Perry seems to talk about what he wants, right? DeMar DeRozan doesn't really fit that. I mean, you see Summer League where he says, oh, if you dribble the air out of the basketball, it's easier to defend. So I don't know.
I know.
Well, what I will say is that I am of the mindset, even if when we were talking about DeRozan to the Warriors and everybody saying how he plays and, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I actually disagree with that. I think that there is a world where we see a fairly different version of DeMar DeRozan. I'm not saying he's a completely different player and he's Cam Johnson, but a more understanding, because we do this with the Blake Griffins of the world when it's not athleticism that you're Vince Carter. It's his offensive kind of game. So we look at it a little bit differently, but I am of the mindset that DeMar, because here's the kicker. I think that whether it's on the Kings or elsewhere, he's not playing like that anymore. Right. So he needs
I don't know. I understand your point. To me, he's one of those guys. Kuminga's another. There are a lot of them, and some of them are really good. Tatum's another. And this is, kind of overstating it, but they play the Kobe style, which is if we need a bucket, I'm going to get it. And there's a whole school, and there's some really good, really great players that do that. But it's just, you got to be careful about the fit. That we saw that down the stretch of games, did we not, last year? DeMar DeRozan, the Kings in close games. Like, we need a bucket, I'm going to get it.
But I don't mind that in the close game. I think the problem is, we had the drop butter time, right? When Jake LaRavia said that, and it's what 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
Situation.
Yeah, butter situation. They would just felt like they were in a butter situation the whole time.
Butter situation.
But if I still like what we're seeing when you need that from DeMar DeRozan, just you don't need that all the time.
Yeah.
I think it was a crutch last season.
And it's hard to tell DeMar DeRozan, like, we're not doing that all the time.
Yeah.
That gets you right back to what we're
talking about. I think they have to. I think they may already have.
Bring him off the bench?
They're not going to do that. Not with this roster.
Do we get Kuminga?
If they get Kuminga. And then you got DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, all coming off your 2025.
Sunday.
That's right.
And Keon Ellis.
Just dogs everywhere.
And no power forwards.
Don't need them.
If Keegan gets hurt, we're starting Dario Saric.
Hey, Chris Boucher. He's off to Boston.
I know that hurt you.
It did hurt me.
Yeah. I just want to say real quick, if I may, we had a staff meeting today, the whole staff, not just air staff, all the states here. One of the things that was mentioned, Allen and Kyle weren't able to make it because they were on the air. And one of the things, I think it was Frankie I don't know if he was drunk or what, but he talked a lot about what a great job you've done. And everyone's like, what a great job Allen Stiles has done, especially with all the digital stuff. And I just wanted to point that out. You
Was
guys
it
have done a really
recorded?
good job.
Yeah, what was the deal with that? We were coming down as people were walking out, and they were like, "Oh, they gave you props."
Yeah, there you go. It might have been because I know there were some people offsite that supposedly were watching it, so maybe it's somewhere. But yeah, I just wanted to.
Oh well, thank
say
you.
we all appreciate you, Alan.
No, I couldn't.
Kyle.
I couldn't have done it without.
Thank you, Frankie.
I couldn't have done it without you. That's right. Yeah, because I haven't seen Frankie in 2 months.
Really?
No, I literally have not seen that guy.
Frankie had a child and just
he literally spent 3 hours in Vegas and that was it.
All he did was eat all our pizza downstairs.
Yeah, that's all. What else is coming up on the show, Whitey? I don't think Draper was in the meeting, right?
I don't think he was. I didn't see him. I did. I had to be careful because I had to do. They asked me to do a Wayback quiz in the meeting, so I had to be careful about. Wait a minute, Jay's there. If Kyle's there, I got to be careful. Jay was there.
Did you do all sports?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just this day back in the day, Wayback quiz.
I didn't know if we were spicing it up. Like on this day, in what year did the German front get invaded or something?
Well, that's a good one. No, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. No, it was sports because it's, sports station. Also today, I spent a lot of time putting this together. We're talking so much about the Kings and a trade, right? The 7 worst trades the Sacramento Kings have ever made.
Oh, that I got to listen to. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, we think. Jay Johnson coming up next. Drive, guys. Gotcha for the next 4
Good job,
hours.
Kyle. Good job, Alan.
Thank you to Kyle.
I don't know what
Thank
we did,
you
but
to,
thank you.
Eric Martins. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sack chatters. Keep texting in those lucky keywords if you want a chance at the Sweet Life with Allen Stiles. And until tomorrow.
Uh-oh, we didn't run Tankathon.
Oh, at the last buzzer, Tankathon. With the second pick in the 2026 NBA draft. Let's do it. That's right. All right. Until tomorrow, secure the bag. Like to be.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does